Hey everybody, this is Peter Palmiotti, and welcome to Making Comics and Art, Pimp Your Comic Edition. So I'm just starting up, and I'll be adding people soon, but I did this before last month, and it was a success, and I'm going to do it monthly, as long as all goes well. And we have a few people here, so let's get right to it. All right. Hello, Henry.
Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Good morning. And we have Rich as well. Once he comes back.
Yeah. He's invisible. Oh, there he goes. Good morning. Hey,
good morning.
What's this 11 a.m. stuff? You're a freelancer, Peter. What are you doing up so early?
Yes. Oh, I was up late and I'm up early. That's how freelancers do it.
Yes, sir.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
So yeah, welcome. Let's just jump right into it. Tell us about your book, what you're working on, what's happening with it.
Oh, Richard, you want to start off?
Man. It's called Cult of Dracula. It's coming out from Second Sight Publishing. It's actually on store shelves now. Came out about 2 weeks ago. It is a reimagining of Bram Stoker's original Gothic horror classic set within a Charles Manson, Jim Jones inspired cult.
Excellent. And if you want to give people visuals, there's a screen, share screen button at the bottom. Nice. Maybe one of you can try and go to a link.
I can probably call up the Dropbox links here.
That'd be great.
Really cool.
I hadn't thought of that. Thanks, Peter. That's why you're the man.
All right.
I've done this once or twice.
Yeah. Well, I'll look around also while I chime in. I'm the artist. I do the pencils and the inks, and designed the characters, the logo, and all that stuff. When Rich approached me a year ago. We have a mutual friend in George's Genti. Genti, I should pronounce his name right. He's my buddy. He's busy doing he's busy on stuff like the X-Men and the Firefly, things like that, little titles. But he wanted to help. He's a good guy, so he provided a few covers for the book. There we go. That's one of George's covers. And he was too busy, but he did recommend me to Rich, and I was excited from the beginning. The scripts are fantastic. I mean, oh, here we go, Dracula again. But like Rich said, it's a totally different take on Dracula. It was really surprising to me, and it's really exciting. It's a great story that just starts off with a bang and just builds and builds and builds. And it's been very exciting to do the visuals for this. We're finally, issue 1 is finally out, and we're promoting. And we're both new to this thing, so we're doing the best we can to get the word out there. And we appreciate your time and the exposure you've given us today.
Absolutely. And,
my pleasure.
We've been doing spectacularly well with the book. The first printing of number 1 sold out nationwide, more than 10,000 units, hit comic book store shelves within the last 2 weeks. We're rushing back to a second print, which is going to be due out in a couple of weeks. We've already sold 5,000 copies of the second print, and then issue 2 follows that up on November 18th. And pre-sales are really, really strong for that as well. We're up to about 2,500 pre-sales so far. for issue 2. So there's some good buzz around the book. We've gotten great critical reception, and we're getting a lot of awesome feedback from readers. So that's a good thing, because not only are stores ordering the book, but people are coming in and picking it up and reading it and enjoying it. So we're super happy about that.
Yeah, reviews have been pretty good so far. Thank you.
That's excellent. Yeah, those are really solid numbers for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're blown away, honestly, by the sales success. At this time last year, I was thinking we were going to go the straight self-publish route, and I was feeling lucky if I sold 3 copies of the book. I mean, I knew my mom was going to buy 2 of them, and so if I could get somebody else to buy one more, lucky. But when we started contacting retailers and talking to them about the book and building those relationships. And they started responding really well to it, and they started ordering in these huge quantities. It was mind blowing. I never really expected we'd get to this point, but I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. It took a big risk, as you know, Peter. Like, the industry is really it's always been kind of shaky, but especially now. So it's pretty satisfying to know that people are still interested in buying a good old fashioned book you can hold on to, But it's also on Amazon and Kindle.
Yep. Yeah, it's on Amazon. You can do it digitally as well. I prefer paper. I think I'm like you guys. I'm old school like that. I love the feel of the paper in my hand. But yeah, if you want to do the digital thing, it's on Amazon. It's doing actually pretty well on there. It was in the top 100,000 Kindle downloads. So I mean, I don't know if that's good or not, but it's kind of cool.
Well, the fact that it's on there, I'm pretty happy. Also, Richard, there's some stores that have been doing exclusive. This is all new stuff to me, but some stores get exclusive covers, right? Limited edition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those have been doing well.
Huge piece of our success is working directly with the retailers and building those strong relationships with our retail partners. And we really do view this as a partnership with retailers. I think sometimes creators are disconnected from the retail side of things. So we've built our strategy on this book strongly upon working hand in hand with our retail partners. And so we've allowed several of them to do exclusive covers. We've had Alan Qua do a really awesome cover for Scorpion Comics. Rick's Comic City out of Nashville, Tennessee did one. Sailfish Comics in North Carolina did another. And then for issue 2, we've got several store exclusives coming up, one from Izzy's. And those have been really, really popular. It gives retailers a way to do something special for their customers and make some money off of that. And anytime retailers can be more profitable by carrying our book, we believe that's a good thing, because that means they're probably going to order more copies of the subsequent issues. So yeah, we've been building great relationships with our retail partners, and we hope to continue doing those exclusive covers moving forward. And I'm going to try to call one up here on my Facebook screen, this screen share thing, see if I can get it and kind of show you what these look like.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some good people out there I didn't even know existed, and I'm learning about them through this experience with Richard, because he's in touch with these guys.
This is the Alan Qua Scorpion Comics variant. Gorgeous art by Alan. This one, when Scorpion launched it on their website, it sold out in 47 minutes. 1,000 units sold, just boom, just
nice.
Like that. Yeah.
Oh, not bad.
Wow.
I hope one day to do a cover. That would be nice.
Right.
Rich, why don't you give a little background as to your inspiration for the story and your influences, the films?
Cult of Dracula was originally conceived as a stage play back in 2012. It ran on stage at the Brown Coat Pub and Theater in Wilmington, North Carolina. ran for a month. It sold out every single performance, was nominated for several awards, won a lot of those. We were very fortunate that Tony Todd was in the audience to see one of those performances. And he really, Candyman, right? But yeah, he became a good friend and was very supportive of the project. And he was highly encouraging of me to develop it into a screenplay. And so I started working on that. Then some things happened. Life got in the way. My wife, unfortunately, got very sick with kidney disease. We kind of had to shelve the film project for a while. But Tony was very encouraging and didn't want me to give up on it. So I decided if I can't do a film, maybe I can adapt this into a comic book script. And because I don't need 6 months of shooting and $10 million budget to do a comic book. And so I decided to do that. And then my good friend Georges Genty put me in contact with Henry, and here we are. It was. I'm glad that I didn't give up on the project because it's something that I'm really proud of, and I know Henry is as well. And
that's excellent. Not many comic properties start as a theater production,
right? Yeah, we kind of went in reverse, sort of. A lot of comic IPs is really popular right now to write a comic book to eventually be optioned for film or television. We kind of went the reverse. We started as a stage play, and then we adapted into a screenplay. Then we did a comic book, and now we're in deep in conversations with a production company that works for a large streaming service that I'm not able to talk about right now, but they're looking very seriously at optioning it for a streaming television series. So we're getting to the same place that a lot of comic book properties want to get to, but we just kind of took the reverse course to get there. We kind of started with the live performances, and now we're going to end up on the television performance side, which is kind of
yeah, like Rich said, comics allows us to do a lot we can't do otherwise, limited budget. So, and show a lot of stuff you just can't pull off.
Yeah, it's like I'm not constrained with what I write because I know that Henry, whatever I put down on paper, Henry can draw it. And I've drawn some pretty insane scenes in the book, though. Worlds flipping upside down and people changing form and all this craziness. So that would take millions of dollars to do in a film budget, but all you need is a talented artist for a comic book, and luckily I've definitely got that here.
And I tell people that Rich's writing has been giving me nightmares because this stuff it's really dark, man. It's grim. It's not for kids, that's for sure. But I keep forgetting to say that. But yeah, there's a lot of violent stuff. I used to work for Marvel and do Ghost Rider, Blaze, Spirits of Vengeance, the Blaze book with Larry Hama, and there was some violent stuff there, but obviously it's meant for a younger audience. You can't get away with a lot of stuff over there. But this stuff, there's barely any restrictions. So there are times where I get really scared, depressed. I'll call them like, man, what did you do? I can't, I'm having nightmares, tone it down, but it's exciting. It's fun stuff. I'm pushing my own boundaries.
I'm passing my nightmares on to you because most of what I'm writing started out as a nightmare in my head. So I'm getting them out and giving them to you because I don't want them anymore.
Yeah, right. I'm the filter. No, but didn't Stephen King say write the stuff that scares you, and that's what you do? Is that right?
He sure did. He sure did, and I firmly believe that. I'm a huge fan of horror. I always have been. I was reading Stephen King and Lovecraft when I was way too young to be reading those things. Anne Rice, I was reading that when I was, in junior high, and that's probably why I'm a little, messed up. But I wanted to write a script that I, as a horror fan, would be proud of, and that I would want to read. So it is certainly and unapologetically horrific. This is a horror comic, and we make no apologies for that. We do the things that are true to Bram Stoker's original intent when he wrote his horror novel, and we do the things that fans of the horror genre expect and appreciate in the things that they like to consume. So this is one of the reviewers online, I think, from I forget which website it was, but she wrote a glowing review of it and called Cult of Dracula a love letter to the 70s golden age of horror. And I could not have received higher praise than that, because that's my favorite era of horror films. I think some of the best horror movies ever were created in that time period. And so for this reviewer to pick up on that and call our book a love letter to that era, that was just amazing.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fantastic. Oh, and also artistically, I wouldn't dare compare myself to any Bernie Wrightson, especially. But I'm always thinking of Shadows and Bernie Wrightson's work, and there's a deadline involved. If I had a year to do a book, I'd try to do the whole thing in Bernie's style, which I would try, but I wouldn't pull it off. Kelly Jones is actually one of the best guys out there. That's reminds me of Bernie's work. But I'm conscious in this book of shadows and darkness and backlighting, and I'm doing the best I can, and I'm pretty happy with the work. I was telling Rich that, and whoever will listen, that this is the work I'm most proud of to this day. It's just there's a love of the material, there's a love of the script, and I see doing this for a while. If people buy the book, that would be fantastic. Buy the book so we can keep publishing. Again, I'm enjoying this, and I'm glad to be along for the ride. And hopefully we get the word out there, and people will follow us and enjoy. That's it for me.
Absolutely.
Do you have any questions?
Are you going to show interior pages?
Yeah, I'm working on that. I knew you were going to ask me that. So,
okay.
Actually,
okay.
Let's show you some art from issue 2, since that's coming out very, very soon. And let's see. Oh, hold on. I'm in the wrong folder.
Well, while you're doing that, let me say that we started off. The intention was to make this a black and white book, because I love all the old Warren stuff and monster magazines and all that. So we were going to do it black and white, but then you ask around and everyone says, well, color sells, and yeah, color sells, but you got to find the right person to kind of add to the look. And we were very fortunate. Rich sent out a call, and he tried out a handful of people. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah.
And the colorist, this guy just blew us away. He sent me samples. I'm like, okay, he's good. That guy's good. This girl's good. But he blew me away because of the texture, the rendering. I've never seen anything like this before. And I was like, go with this guy. He goes, yeah, I agree with you. We were on the same page. And he's done beautiful.
I don't think Henry ever responded to one of my text messages more quickly than when I showed him Trevor's color work. I mean, it was 30 seconds after I sent it, he sends me the text back, hiring. And I mean, it's like, whoa, okay, and I was not expecting such a quick response there. But I think he was spot on perfect, because Trevor's color work has really elevated the script into just a whole another level. And let's see here. I think this is the page I was looking for. I really like. So yeah, a good colorist is, just such a boon to making a comic. Things that, my background is in writing stage plays and screenplays. That's where I come from, the world of theater and film. And you don't really have to think about a lot of those things until much, much later in the production process. But I almost took things like color and lettering for granted with this script. But, you know, we've been able to work with Trevor Richardson on colors and Ed Dukeshire for our letters. And it has made all the difference in the world. As far as, I love this page, by the way. I think this right here is probably one of my favorite examples of Henry's art and Trevor's color working hand in hand. This is a page from issue 2.
That's all Trevor's texturing. I mean, that was just black and white line work. But all that wood is Trevor. It's just really surprising. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I love this. I love this page. It's I think I'm going to have this blown up and framed and hang in my office. It might be my favorite page out of the entire second issue, maybe even the entire book so far. But yeah, you know, if there are other people out there that are kind of watching this show, kind of wanting to make, looking for tips on how to get their own comic made. If I can give you some advice, don't skimp on your colorist and don't skimp on your letterer, because they will make such a difference in the quality of your book and how it comes out. You know, I thought that lettering especially is one you just really don't think about, if you've not been in the industry doing this for a long time. And I really thought that was an area where I could potentially save money because, as doing a creator-owned project like this, it is getting funded out of my own pocket. So I was looking for ways, of course, to save budget, and I thought lettering would be a place I could do that. And you can't. Lettering, a good letterer makes all the difference in the world to how people read your book. So creators, don't think on the letters.
It's an underappreciated art. Lettering is. I mean, look,
I'm highly critical of everything, and definitely coloring and lettering. A bad colorist could ruin the work entirely, and a bad letter as well. And I see a growing trend as far as lettering, where they're using like a small font for everything. Because I guess you could see more artwork. A lot more people read the digital version, but still, you got to make it good for the print version, and it's got to be a good size so you can read it. And, anything that slows you down reading a comic book is bad.
Yes.
It's all about clear storytelling.
If you can't make out the words, it doesn't matter what the words are.
Well, remember, I didn't notice this back in the day, but remember on X-Men, Tom, I mispronounce his name constantly, Tom Orzeszkowski. He was the letterer on the X-Men book, and he made it for me because he created these beautiful fonts and sound effects, and the lettering was Walt Simonson, when he did his Thor run, Fragadoom, all of the beautiful type. It's just it makes such a big difference, right, Peter?
Yeah, definitely. So is there a set number of issues this is going to be, or?
Yeah, we are, to tell the entire saga, I guess. We're looking at 18 total issues, and that's broken into 3 volumes of 6 issues each. So doing a horror comic about the occult and vampires, and of course it has to be 6, 6, and 6. There's something kind of poetic about that. But I was very heavily inspired by the Hammer films of the 60s and 70s. I watched so many of those. I love them. And so the way Cult of Dracula is written or structured, it's written to be, the first volume is called Cult of Dracula. The second volume is called Rise of Dracula. And then the third volume, working title right now, is called Fall of Dracula. So the story can be consumed either in 1 volume of 6 issues or all 3 volumes of 18 total issues. So we're flexible because we understand, just like some people go see A Nightmare on Elm Street but skipped out on A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. We're trying to create a project that appeals to however people want to consume it. So if you just want a short story, you can get that in Cult of Dracula Volume 1. And if you want to read the whole saga, maybe you're going to stick around for volumes 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, and we're super excited to get all those out onto the store shelves and into readers' hands.
Awesome. And it looks really good. I gotta say, it's a really sharp looking project.
Thanks, man. I mean, it's taken a lot of work by a lot of really talented people. I've been so fortunate to work with people who are way more talented than I deserve. So I really appreciate your saying that, man.
And was it Henry said that you want to get out there and get on podcasts and get the word out. I know, like personally, there's so many Facebook groups, and if you just sort of post around, ask around, who has a podcast, who has a comic podcast, who has entertainment podcast, just get on everything and anything. Promotion is like you gotta just do it, and there's more people out there that are more than happy to have you on, like myself. There's tons of YouTube channels, there's tons of just like regular audio podcasts. Lots of them have their own websites and everything, and I don't think it's too hard to start tracking them down if you ask in right places. I'm a little out of touch. It's like I'm working on my creation, and I'll probably do more promotion next year. So I'm not up on a lot, but I know I have my Facebook group. Obviously, you guys know the creator-owned Facebook group, and in there's people that do interviews with other people, creators, and there's Indie Bolt. I can name offhand. There's Comic Book Advocates, which are like they're connected. But there's so many more people that talk with creators and shine a light on people's creations. So it's definitely worth checking them out.
Yeah, it's promoting is another job, man, right?
Yeah, it's like if comics was just about making them, it would be such an easy job.
Right. But you've got to get out and promote it, and that's been that really has occupied. Getting out and promoting the book has occupied so much of my time over the last couple of months that I've almost not had time to actually do any writing, which is kind of insane. Because you get started with all of this, you're writing, but then the promotional stuff just kind of takes over. And we've been very fortunate that there have been so many podcasts that have been willing to have us on. If anybody's listening that has a podcast, we are 100% interested in doing it. I've made it my motto. I don't care if you've got 2 listeners or 200,000 listeners. If you're willing to talk to me about Cult of Dracula, I am more than willing to come on your show and talk about it. We need to do even more networking, because it's doing an independent creator-owned project. It requires a lot of grassroots effort, and you've got to build a support among that community out there. So we're lucky that there's so many awesome podcasters and YouTubers out there for us.
and it's tough now.
Yeah,
Obviously, I'm trying to do store signings and stuff like that.
yeah. It's definitely a challenging time. Like there's not many conventions happening, and it's a whole different sort of ball game at the moment. But yeah, if you can get on podcasts, definitely recommend that. If you can get on YouTubers channels and talk about your project, there's a ton more people doing that. Another one I'll mention is CreatorCon Event is the YouTube channel name. CreatorCon is an actual con that it right now is just doing interviews online because their con isn't happening.
Is that Philip?
But
is that
they've
thing?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's a super nice guy, and he interviews like everybody, but there's names in there that he's interviewed, and just a great guy, and go definitely check out his channel. I'm leaving millions of people out, but there's plenty out there. You just scroll the groups, and you'll see podcasts, and like lot more people are doing like shows on Facebook as well, and you'll even find a few on Instagram, Instagram Live, and all around the interwebs. Come across
Instagram Live. Okay, cool. Thank you, sir.
I'm starting to get the hang of this screen share thing, I think.
Yeah, well, we're figuring this out as we go along,
right? I need like a little remote.
Yeah.
Click
I mean, I'm click button. Yeah. And SalazarArtNation recommends. I can't believe it's not the Artcast is another creator podcast, and that is true. So go check him out.
We'll do. That's a long name, but okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anybody you can recommend, man, we're going to reach out to them and talk about the comic, because we unfortunately we don't have the big budgets of Marvel and DC behind us to promote. It's all about, it's kind of old school, it's making connections and getting to know people and just sitting down and having a conversation about horror and about comics and things like that. But I think it's building a stronger foundation, because we actually have relationships with the people who are consuming our book, which is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. And Richard owns a store in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he set up a store signing last weekend. And let me tell you, man, he did a great job. I mean, there was masks required. The line was very well controlled. A certain amount of people in the store, and it was a great turnout. I was very surprised, especially considering the concerns nowadays.
Yeah.
But, like I said, did a wonderful job. Creators felt comfortable, fans felt comfortable, and everyone walked away happy. There were commissions done, lots of books signed. I'm still recovering. There's a patch underneath my shoulder. Actually, I couldn't be telling you this, Rich, because I should be drawing. But my shoulder is still recovering from the signing. But again, there's a hunger for people to get out there. Obviously, it's just how comfortable are the fans made to feel, and Rich did a great job, and it's important for us to get out there, obviously, but safety first.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we all felt very safe.
And retail,
Salazar says the name will be rebranded soon. So.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any retailers listening to the podcast right now, one of the things that we do, again, it's all about building relationships with you guys, because you guys are going to be the ones that put the comics into the hands of the readers. If you carry Cult of Dracula, we're more than willing to come out and do store signing events, and we don't, or at least I don't believe in just letting the relationship end once you buy the book, because a lot of publishers and things, they just, once you buy it, they've got the sale done, they walk away, you don't hear from them anymore. But that's not our approach to it. We're here to support you. So if we're recording video to send to to different stores, we're buying advertising on social media. If your store is, say it's in Wilmington, North Carolina, or Clearwater, Florida, if your store ordered our book, we're buying social media advertising in that market to drive people to your store. So you don't just, if you do decide to carry Cult of Dracula, you don't just get a book that gets abandoned on your shelf. You get us, you get our combined efforts to help you sell it. Because if you're trusting us to carry our book, we want to support you and help you sell it. So retailers out there, reach out to us. We're here to support you.
Oh, and by the way, there's a website.
Yeah. Cult of Dracula. And we're on Facebook at Cult of Dracula Comic, Instagram Cult Comic, and Twitter at Cult Comic. So you can find us all over the place. We're here to help you, and support you because you're supporting us. Same thing goes to customers, man. If you're a reader, you order it offline somewhere, if you want a book autographed or something like that, send it to us and we'll sign it, send it back to you, whatever. We're building relationships with you guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I gotta ask, since you said it specifically, have you been to what is it, Emerald Comics in Clearwater?
We are.
Have you ever heard of that comic store?
Oh yeah. Emerald City in Clearwater. They actually ordered the book.
Yeah.
That was probably
cool
sell that I had to make. It took me about, I think, 9 phone calls to finally convince them to order the comic. I spoke to them personally over there, and I just didn't give up. And I think partially they decided to carry the comic just so I would stop calling. But yeah, I've been to Emerald City before. It's a great comic shop, and I was so honored that they trusted us enough to decide to carry the book. So if you guys are in the Clearwater, Florida area, please go over to Emerald City and pick up a copy of Cult of Dracula from them. Great comic book store. And like I said, probably the hardest sell I made marketing issue #1. And now I got to start bugging them again about issue 2 pretty soon. So might take me 10 calls this time.
It's funny because that's I was lucky enough to go visit my family this past January before all this madness, and they're all in Florida, and my brother specifically is in Clearwater, and that's his local shop. And he posted a video the other day on Instagram showing off the store. The store is huge. It has like a little bit of everything. But he has a secret back room for his Kickstarter books.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's
I'm always supporting what your brother's promoting because he's got good taste.
Yeah, he's busy, and even Amanda was in the video. It's very cute. They're like, this is the glamorous life of comic book creators. They're signing books and packing books.
We had to pack and ship our own books as well, which was kind of crazy. Our publisher ran into some problems at the port with shipping, which it's small publisher, small press. Things happen, but so we actually had the books all 10,000 of them shipped to my store here in Knoxville, and I just called my staff at my store in and a bunch of volunteers from our customer base. Like, hey, come in, help us pack these books up and ship them out. And it was a massive undertaking, and we had to do that. So the life of a independent comic book creator is pretty crazy. A lot crazier than I imagined. Before I decided I wanted to do this. If I'd only known.
But it is really fulfilling. You know, it's like I have a joy of mixing, and so I don't mind putting in the work, and you know, I freaking do this 7 days a week just to keep on top of things.
And you gotta love it, man, to do this. Yeah.
But we have somebody new in the stream. David, welcome.
Hey, thank you guys. Thanks for showing. I was stalking for a minute, so yeah, I'm totally going to order a Dracula book.
We have another customer.
Oh, awesome.
One more, one by one, little by little.
That's how it works, man.
This is a war of attrition, this industry.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, you have a nice background, not the mess I have back here. Kudos.
Thank you. So yeah, when you brought up the Hammer stuff, I thought that was just intriguing.
Yeah, I'm a huge Hammer fan, man. I've watched so many of those movies, man. It's crazy.
What's your favorite Hammer Dracula movie?
Oh, that's a tough choice, man.
I have an unpopular opinion on this. That
okay,
might get. I'm gonna wait for you so you can you can smooth it over. You can peanut butter to my jelly.
Man, there's so many great Hammer films. I can't pick I mean, anything with Christopher Lee in it is always amazing. You know, so
I don't disagree, but my favorite Dracula is still Brides of Dracula.
That's a fantastic one.
Lee free though.
You're right. Well, actually, you know what? My favorite Dracula film of all time is Christopher Lee Free as well. I love Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know,
that's up there. I just recently rewatched Langella's Dracula, that moody atmospheric period piece.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just stellar stuff.
Oh, so I haven't seen it in a while. Does it still hold up?
Yeah, it does. Well, it holds up so well because there's no modern affectation to it, so you can't tell that it's the 70s that it was made. So yeah, it's lush. It's lush. That's
great. I got
still nothing beats 35 millimeter anyway.
Yeah,
right.
That Langella hair did throw me off though.
the hair helmet.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I remember enjoying the hell out of it. So actually, I'm probably going to rewatch it tonight as I'm working.
Do it. I highly recommend it.
Thank you.
So, I'm a huge fan. What are you inking, Peter?
I am inking my book Retro, and this is a superhero comic. You know, I'm inspired by a lot of comics from the 60s to the 90s. Throw in heavy metal and throw in a little modern sensibilities, and I'm creating my own sort of superhero universe, starting with Retro, and I'll have other books that will follow up. But this is the first issue. I recently did a video where I just showed off all the pages and how far I am inking everything, which you can go check out. And you know, I just plan to get this first issue done this year and printed and out to people. So you know, barring any more catastrophe, I don't know, like any big events coming up. Yeah, it should definitely be happening.
You going the Kickstarter route or Indiegogo with that, Peter?
Well, what I did was last year I just, to get the financing started, I did a very short Kickstarter. It was 5 days, and I think like just over 80 pledgers, and that started the ball rolling. What I'll do is print it and get the comic into those people's hands. Then I'll do an Indiegogo, like a full-length Indiegogo, to fully finance everything.
Cool.
Yeah, I've had hit or miss success with crowdfunding.
Yeah, hit or miss.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like that was, you know, I've been part of other people's Kickstarters, and you know, part of the whole like promoting the Kickstarters and all that. But this was my full head first jump into one. And it's like, yeah, I was nervous. I was keeping track of it. I was like just trying to promote the heck out of it. Like I did I think it was a 8-hour stream from launch,
wow.
and then like a 7-hour stream to watch it end.
Were there bathroom breaks involved, I hope, in those 8 hours? I mean, did you eat?
Yeah. Like
I
I had a lot of friends show up in the stream, and even my brother showed up, and it was a lot of fun. It's nerve wracking, and but it was a really good experience, and I learned a lot more about what goes into one. And I was sort of just guesstimating a lot of stuff. And I really didn't care if I was undercharging or whatever. It was like my first experience, and I know like next time I do want to, it'll be all the better for it.
Sure. You're learning by experience, which is what we're doing.
Definitely.
David, I'm looking at
so Henry and Richard, these are your first comics? Your first comic?
This is my first comic. Yeah. Henry's been around a while. He worked for some company called Marvel or something.
That place sucks. What are you talking about?
There's some guy on a motorcycle with I drew a guy with a flaming head on a motorcycle.
That Carrot Top comic? That was amazing.
Thank you.
The spirit of bad jokes.
That's good.
I'm here all week trying to fish.
Super fortunate to work out way above my league with all this, because there's no reason in this world that I should be working with people like Henry Martinez and Georges Genti and Tiffany Rose and Sanford Green. I mean, these people shouldn't even give me the time of day. But I'm for some reason extremely lucky that they have. And I hope the project, I hope it lives up to the trust and the faith they've put in me by lending their art to my crazy little script.
So far, so good.
Well, yeah, I thought there'd be media appearances together if it was really horrible. Those usually kind of just fizzle out at first. So, can I show you guys what I got coming out?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Damn it! I'm
awesome.
Yes.
We're here to pimp, baby.
Yeah, there's a share screen button below.
Awesome. Let me do that.
I'm gonna stop mine there. That way it won't be too crowded on the screen.
Okay.
Is that working? It's not.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
One moment, please.
Stand by.
It's still black.
I was checking your page out, man. You've done some really awesome looking films too, man.
Oh, thank you. They're not. They're all horrible.
Okay.
But trust me, I know. I was in them.
Like what? There was one by bloody Bible belt or something that looked really awesome.
bloody Bible camp. So I was an actor for a long time.
Nice.
And I was on the West Coast. I did those things, mainly bad horror films. This sharing's not working for me. That's all right.
Oh, there it is. Oh, kind of.
It keeps coming up black.
Yeah, there's a black box in the middle of it for some reason. But
yes, it's darkness. I see.
It's mystery.
I knew this would happen. Oh, let's try one more thing.
What?
Everything works fine until you need to.
What option are you using?
Just a share screen.
No, but there's I would have to do it myself to figure it out. But
the application window.
Application, yeah. You
Chrome tab.
Oh, Chrome tab's pretty good. All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, that worked for me.
Let me bring that up. So yeah, so the movies are a thing, and I got my start in film, and always wanted to be in comics. There's a horrible story about me pitching something and getting shot down and giving up. Way back. This is like the 90s, way back. And but the movies have always been the thing for me until I finally went back to my first love, which is comics. So are we trying it now? Is it working?
Not yet.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
Hey,
See something.
there's a thing.
Oh, I saw your stuff in
There's
the
a thing.
group.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's up? So this is a Dial P for Peanuts, and it is coming out from Source Point Press. So we were in previews in August. It'll be out in stores November 25th, and it is essentially, without getting into any copyright infringement, what it resembles the Peanuts gang get invited to an Agatha Christie-esque murder mystery house. They're bumped off one by one for past sins, and it's a lot of fun. It's mostly homage to Charles Schultz and Agatha Christie, just two real beacons of shaping me in terms of narrative. But it's a lot of fun. 80 pages. It's a full graphic novel. I can't bring up the pages to show anybody right now, but we did it in a 6-panel style. So every page is 6 panels, like a newspaper. It's only flat colors. We have a wonderful Jay Fosgate cover, as you can see right here.
That's
Jay is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And the interior is done by Kurt Belcher. And Kurt and I actually, we did the Rotten Tail graphic novel together. And that just came out in theaters in April as a feature film. So we made the comic, the graphic novel to feature film jump. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. Thanks to Source Point Press again.
Yeah.
I just
Awesome.
ordered 5 of these for my store.
Thank you very much.
I'm on Diamond right now and doing that because I love this concept.
It's a lot of it started. I teach school as well. I'm the dean of a small business college in Michigan.
Nice.
And I had started in my instructing career in Arizona at Grand Canyon University, and we had a really robust theater program there. So I also kind of function as the writer in residence.
Nice.
And another professor and I, Michael Carey, developed this as a stage play at first, and so it opened for a few nights, sold out in Phoenix, and I did a couple other things, and it just sat for like literally a decade.
Wow.
Before I suddenly wised up and said, "Oh my God, I'm an idiot. I took comic characters and put them on a stage. Why can't I just take comic characters and put them in a comic?"
Wait, what? Comic characters were never working.
It didn't really work out for me. But that's kind of the genesis of this, and it did really well on stage. Wonderful actors, and translating it to comics, it works super well. And we skirt around a lot of the copyright issues, mainly because we don't use the full name, so no one ever says Charlie Brown. No one even says Lucy Van Pelt. It's Charles and Lucille, and Schroeder is now Shredder, and you'll see for obvious reasons.
Shredder.
Exactly. And they've just done some like terrible things. And my whole point was, the Peanuts gang, when I was young, and probably when you were young as well, when everyone was young, they started in the 50s. They kind of told us that mediocre was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that Christmas tree was horrific. There's no way that my friends would have allowed me to bring that Christmas tree over. And since we were taught this, it's just there's this built-in nihilism that why bother doing well when okay is just okay? So that's kind of the theme running through this. It's the world's most incredibly wishy-washy man has convinced his childhood friends to be the most wishy-washy, awful people, and now there's penance to be paid for it. So hopefully we're kind of ending that toxic relationship between us and the Peanuts gang once and for all once, maybe. But it's a lot of fun too, and since I love them so much, it's just a lot. It's just we had a really good time, a very good time.
We're gonna sell the hell out of that in my store. I can
That's
tell.
awesome.
Hell yeah, keep getting them. And you're in Knoxville?
Yes, Knoxville. Mm-hmm.
When this disease is over, I'm gonna come down and we'll do a signing.
Dude,
Great story, man.
yeah, we just opened up a new event space
Cool.
next door to do signing events. The space next to us became available. We took it over, and we want to have more creators come out and pimp their stuff. So you are more than welcome It's called Nirvana Comics in Knoxville, Tennessee, if you guys want to look it up. But follow you on social media and all that stuff. But yeah, we're definitely going to carry that in the store. That looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we pre-COVID, we went pretty much everywhere. Source Point Press is we're a publisher based out of Michigan, and we do about 10 titles a month in Diamond. And we've got a pros division, and then Deepwater Games is our game division, board games. And as a company, we were doing probably 53, 54 shows a year with different teams that were out. And so the last show that I did was C2E2 before everything kind of went belly up. Mm-hmm. And this is, of course, New York Comic Con weekend. So, shed a tear, pour one out for all the folks that can't be in New York.
Yeah. I missed that show so much.
That was fun. The first year we did that was 2016, and I had my first comic out called The Rot. It's a lighthearted tale of a man that can project his cancer onto people. So, one of those. It's not very lighthearted. I mean, kind of a douche about that.
A feel-good story.
It's the feel-good story of the year. Really. So, and then I had written a bunch of novels
right after.
So we just I signed my entire back catalog through SourcePoint because I think they're doing a really good job with things, and things look good and they're great, and there's a good bunch of creators with it, and they got my graphic novel produced into a feature. So how can I complain?
No complaints there.
Yeah.
That's what we all hope for.
It's on Tubi now if you want to check it out. I think Tubi and Prime.
What is that? What's the name of it?
Rotten Tail. Yeah, it's another feel-good story.
Okay.
It's a giant mutant Easter bunny goes on a killing spree of stupid proportions. If you remember Corin Nemec from Parker Lewis Can't Lose, he plays Rotten Tail.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. I watch that show a lot. I love the poster for it. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, there's so much ridiculous. That's our boy.
Great.
Well, I know what I'm going to be watching tonight because I love low-budget indie horror films, and Dominique Swain was in that. Nice.
Yeah, Dominique Swain, Billy McNamara. I turned down a part, so it's actually good. So that was on purpose.
Where did you guys shoot this?
That was shot in Arizona, LA, and just a couple of things in Michigan.
Nice.
Yeah. Peter, I'm trying to share some artwork, but
I should stop sharing. That's what probably the issue.
Oh, is that it? You have to stop one and do the other? Oh, sorry about that.
There you go.
Well, I could.
It's kind of grayed out.
Yeah, I don't think I could do two shares.
I got it. Okay. I'm sorry. I have two images up at the same time. Anyway, these two. I'm just gonna get this out real quick since I'm trying to promote a little bit. These are two alternative covers that I did for Rich. Well, I think one of them is a store exclusive. I don't know what the other one, if it's being used at all, but just an example of the excitement that I have, because not only am I doing the interiors, but I've been seeing all this great cover art. I'm like, I want a part of that too. I want to be a part of that. So I'm trying to do squeeze in as many covers as I can when I can. That's all.
How does my LCS get this, Rich?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can right now you can order it through Second Sight Publishing, or if they want to reach out directly to me at cultofdraculacomic@gmail.com, I can hook them up with some covers. First printings are actually sold out already nationwide. We sold more than 10,000 copies of the first the first print. I do have a few left, some overprints that are at my store that I could send out to other retailers. I'd rather them be in stores somewhere else so more people can reach them. So if your local comic book shop wants them, have them reach out to me direct. I can still get them some first prints. And then the second printing is still up for pre-order at Second Sight Publishing. So we can, and hopefully we're working out a deal to where we're going to be in Diamond pretty soon. That was Diamond didn't want to pay attention to us in the beginning because we're nobody, but I think it's kind of hard to ignore 10,000 units sold. There's Marvel and DC books that don't sell that much. I think eventually we're going to sell enough of these things that that Diamond's going to have to pay attention. So that's what we're building for, because I think we can do really well with it once we get it in people's hands. But until then, I'm gonna keep making phone calls and sending emails and doing the social media thing and doing the podcasts and just reaching as many people as I possibly can. Man, it's got to be you got to work hard if you want to get your thing out there.
Oh yeah, I still don't have my copies. I'm still waiting on mine. Right? Where are my copies?
Any good producer would sell your copies and make you wait. Like, when we need to, we'll print you. We'll get you a couple Indie Planet ones done up, just for you.
Or I'll go down to Kinko's and just make, or Kinko's doesn't even exist anymore. Why does it Kinko? FedEx office and make a couple of copies for you, and we'll give you those.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I don't know how many times I've been at a show and sold my personal copies.
Yeah,
it's like, well, I've read it. I guess I don't need it.
Right? Hey, I'll sell it to get it into somebody's hands, man. Absolutely, I'll sell it.
Our CEO and our editor in chief is notorious for selling his personal copies. That's dedication to the bottom line.
Now, what's that about, man? I did a book about 15, 20 years ago, self-published with a bunch of friends, and I find out a year ago that
I guess he fired Henry.
Can you hear me? Oh, I'm back.
Still hear David too.
I disappeared and I came back.
Sorry, Ray.
Hey, modern technology.
There you
go.
So,
my internet blipped. So.
To wrap up my story, a year ago I was approached by the publisher of the book, and he says, "Hey, I'm sitting on a box of 100 copies of our book," and I said, "Oh, that's fantastic. Can you send me some?" He goes, "Yeah, I can sell you the case for $100." What? No, wait a minute. We worked on this together. It's 20 years old. No one's buying this thing. And he actually offered to sell it to me, and there was no negotiating.
Did you buy it?
I have my 5 comp copies. I'm good with that for now.
Tell him to call me. I'll buy them.
You never know.
I'll buy them and flip them for $4 a piece. Way back when. So, David, you work for SourcePoint?
I edit the prose division.
Nice.
So a burgeoning novel and novella group. So not too much going on there, but yet we're working on that. And other than that, I am mercy to the whims of SourcePoint in general.
That's awesome.
Which is fun.
I really like SourcePoint. Quite a few of their books. So that's a really good thing. I like to support the indie books. We honestly sell just as many indie small press books as we do DC right now. Our customers just want it. I think they're a little bit over, the canned superhero recycled stories, and they want more genre books. They want horror and sci-fi and things like that. So, love SourcePoint. They're a really cool company.
Thank you. We really push the horror sci-fi stuff. Very, very little hero work, mainly because you know how hard it is to pry someone's Batman dollar away from them, and it's there for Batman. And how am I going to do Batman better?
Yeah,
I'm not. So that's interesting. We've been taking I personally in a bunch of the work, I've been taking the holiday route. So we did Rotten Tail for Easter. Last Christmas we came out with Kringle, which where Santa goes Rambo magically on a small town after they kill his reindeer. And then I have a nefarious plot for Turkey Day to happen in 2021. So we'll see what that entails.
I can't wait, dude.
You sound like a great horror film potential property.
I'm definitely going to be watching Rotten Tail.
My Bloody Valentine and all that stuff. These
one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I went from the B movie world to making B movies into comics. There's just a transference of stupid ideas to a different medium.
You've gone full circle.
And
yeah, there was a time where there were a ton of
funny.
videos.
I want to follow you. Do you have your social media links handy, David? I want to follow you.
Yeah, it's at Abnormal ENT for all of them.
Okay. Abnormal ENT. Gotcha.
Yep. Old production company, Abnormal Entertainment.
Right on.
Follow away. There's just dumb stuff. It's just ridiculous half the time.
Dumb stuff is fun, yeah.
The summer, over the summer, COVID really messed up the release, but we had a wonderful supernatural Western that I did with Lindsay Hutchinson, painter out of Scotland, called The Final Bloody War of Colton Myers. It was another 80-page graphic novel, fully painted, kind of like a Big Trouble in Little China meets a Tombstone.
Oh, nice.
In that sort of sense.
Two of my favorite films. Awesome.
Oh man, we had so much fun with this, and just the pandemic when Diamond shut down, that was right in our order period, and it just fizzled. So feel free to grab as many of those as you wish for your store as well.
Excellent.
I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, I'm adding you on everything right now.
Awesome, thank you.
There we go. Yeah, just added you on Facebook and
Awesome.
And all that. Cool. So cool. But yeah, it sounds like you make the kind of things that I enjoy reading and I enjoy pimping to my customers. So
based on your Dracula book, you make the things I like to read as well.
right on, man. Well, I hope we can share our stuff. You
We
know,
do that convention thing where we trade the same $10 bill around.
I'm totally down.
Do a crossover universe thing.
Yeah,
It is. It's so creepy sometimes.
right.
The shows you guys do, which one do you miss the most?
I miss Dragon Con. I've worked for Dragon Con for many years in the media relations area, and Dragon Con was my first really big con that I ever went to. So it's always going to hold a special place in my heart. I also love Heroes Con. I lived in North Carolina for many years, and so Heroes was kind of like the mecca for everybody from that area. But I still think that Heroes is probably the for comic convention that I've ever been to. Dragon Con has a little bit or a lot of bit of everything, but Heroes is just so awesome for comic books. Can't wait to go back there. Maybe one day. My goal when I set out to write Cult of Dracula was I said to Georges, I said, look, I don't care what this does. I just want to be famous enough to be a guest at Dragon Con. And he was like, dude, it's not that hard. I was like, okay.
Lofty.
Set the bar low, and your goals easier to achieve. So, I if I get to be a guest at Dragon Con one day, I'm done. I retire. That's it. I've hit my pinnacle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't get around much, so
I was
always wanted to go.
I was supposed to go to.
Go ahead, Peter.
I was supposed to go to Heroes Con this year. Table with a friend of mine, but of course, obviously, it didn't happen. And I was thinking of heading out to San Diego and heading out to New York, and maybe next year.
Yeah, I'm selfish. The one I miss the most is Motor City. It's our home con, and there's nothing like walking in superstars.
Right.
If that's disqualified. I really like the horror conventions. So if I can do Flashback in Chicago, I think that's wonderful. The Horror Hound stuff has always been great. Back in the day, I used to do the Fangoria conventions when they had those. The cool part about that is, when you're at a comic convention, you're fighting, to move your product in this completely saturated place. And if you're in a horror convention, everyone there is already on your genre wavelength.
Yeah,
stuff I do, and you do,
Yeah.
and so it's a lot more robust conversation, converting into moving a lot of books.
Yeah. Have you done Scarefest in Lexington?
No.
That's a good con. It's nearby because I'm in Knoxville, so it's like, you know, a 2-hour drive. But a lot of folks from here go up there, and it's a really nice con that gets bigger and bigger every year, and super horror focused like that. So it kind of I'm hoping to do that one next year when they come back, because it's fantastic.
I'm gonna put that on the list. Scarefest. Yeah. That sounds fun.
Yeah. In Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, because we go coast to coast. We just had our first international show with SourcePoint. We were at Dublin Comic-Con.
Oh, right on.
Not counting Canada, because we're like Canada South and Michigan.
Right.
But, Dublin was great. Really receptive. So many cool stuff. And we actually had one point, I think it was 2 years ago, where the same weekend we had the New York show and then Stan Lee's LA show with 2 teams. So just absolute craziness. So, yeah, the lack of shows has put a real crimp in the spreading the good news.
Yeah. I have friends whose source of income are the shows. They'll do commissions there, and it really hit them hard. They're doing as much virtual stuff as they can, but you know, it's really rough, man.
Yeah, you don't get that point of purchase, that snap decision sale.
Absolutely.
From someone.
And it's hard.
I mean, I've saved a lot of money too, because I would spend more than I would ever sell.
Yeah.
These conventions. So yeah,
that's a drawback, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I'm the world's biggest Swamp Thing nerd, and like, you know, every appearance ever, I got long boxes filled with Swamp Thing, and I would never be able to turn away a really cool, you know, like sketch cover. And yeah, it got expensive.
That's my wife's biggest complaint when I do a show. She's like, I always wind up spending any money I make at that show, so I'm always in the red. When I went to Rich's shop, I did not spend a penny.
I lived in Wilmington for like 15 years, and I love Swamp Thing too. And so, of course, 2 years after I leave, Wilmington's got a great film community, but 2 years after I leave, they announced that they're going to shoot the Swamp Thing series in Wilmington. And I'm like, and it made it even worse. My favorite horror film of all time is Halloween. And that same year, they shot the newest Halloween sequel in Wilmington. And I'm like, if I still lived here, I could have been working crew. I could have been an extra. And now I moved. And of course, that's when all my favorite projects are going to come to town. So
that's how it works. Yeah. I mean, I think Halloween, like the original Halloween, is probably my favorite movie ever.
Yes.
It's Howling a close second.
Yeah. It is. The original Halloween is as close to perfect for a horror movie as you can possibly get. And just the simple terror of introducing that to the suburbs, you know, and because Laurie she's innocent. She doesn't do anything wrong. You know, she doesn't deserve this, but it still happens to her. And it is terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, noting that it was the suburbs for the first time is great. You know, prior to that, you know, Black Christmas is at some fancy college that only 15% of the country has ever experienced. So that was even remote. But yeah, just.
Yeah. And it's still just, I mean, even to this day, that the movie just chills me. And I like to look at Halloween 1 and 2, all, you know, kind of as one film. It's just was one really long film, and they're both just absolutely brilliant. And I even like The Witch too, but you know, even though it's completely off.
2 bugged me, but I mean, I don't think it kept the same tone. But
yeah, it did. It shifted more action oriented, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I think it dipped and it became closer to the ripoffs of Halloween.
Yeah,
because I mean, you had the Prowler come out, and that's post Friday the 13th, so the violence was upped, the gore was upped, and for like it or not, that set the trend of making the sequel, you know, that much more gonzo than the original.
yeah. And I still love movies though, the more insane that they get. You know, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is a great example.
That's crazy. Have you seen the documentary Scream Queen?
No, I haven't. I've been wanting to watch that.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to add that, make sure I do that, because it's October, man. I try to watch a horror movie at least every day, you know.
Yeah, before this I watched Amityville 3D.
Nice.
Don't ask me why.
Okay. I was
So,
about
man,
to
I do a lot of film writing. I write for occasionally for Diabolique magazine, and but the big project that we're doing right now, it's about 3 years in, is we're doing a comprehensive werewolf film encyclopedia called Moonlight Marquee, and there's a bunch of entries. We have 300 or 400 entries. We've got interviews from John Landis and Joe Dante and Fred Decker, Monster Squad writer.
Yes.
So yeah, it's gonna be pretty killer.
Yeah, man. Pun intended.
Yeah. It's going to release November of 2021 because that is the 80th anniversary of the Wolfman.
Nice.
It is the 60th anniversary of Curse of the Werewolf and the 40th anniversary of American Werewolf in London, The Howling, Wolfen, and Full Moon High.
Damn. Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every 20 years.
What'd you think of the most recent Wolfman with Benicio del Toro and
Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, Sir Hopkins.
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it looked wonderful. I mean, it was gorgeous. But, you know, I don't think, and as good as Benicio del Toro is, he doesn't have that built-in just pathetic victimhood that Lon Chaney Jr. had.
Yeah, good.
He could sad sack his way through. He was the only American, the brunt of a curse. He doesn't understand it. He desperately wants it to not affect him. And I think a large part of the performance in Wolfman was directly correlated to him living in the shadow of his father that he could never ever escape. Mm-hmm. So I think it was just this little magical thing. Lawrence Talbot is this whimpering force of nature that I don't think Benicio del Toro could capture. But Anthony Hopkins is a good surrogate for Claude Rains, though. So
Anthony Hopkins is just brilliant in anything he does.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm sure you've checked out us. You've seen Skinwalkers, right?
Yes. Yep.
Love that. I think that might be, aside from American Werewolf in London, that might be my favorite werewolf movie.
If I get rid of the Iconics, I'll go with Ginger Snaps.
Ginger, yeah, I love Ginger.
Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers, yep, absolutely, that's a good one. There was I forget what it's called, but it had Amanda Seyfried in it. It was more polished and more big budget, but it's kind of a was it Red? It's like a Red Riding Hood movie.
Yes.
I actually enjoyed that one too, for taking into consideration the Hollywood polish that was put on it. It was quite good.
You'd be amazed how many just no budget, horrible werewolf films there. We're trying to be comprehensive, so we're watching stuff like La Canimator and Weed Wolf, just the stupidest things ever. And so if there's a werewolf character in it, we let it qualify. So we got entries on like Orgy of the Dead, Ed Wood's movie. Mm-hmm. And this other ridiculousness. So it's going to be a good time.
I can't. So, and that's next November.
That's next November. We're going to do a Kickstarter. I know I'm not a big fan of them, but we're going to do it in January, and it's going to be exclusive, hardcover only. It's going to be a 500-page, massive volume with a wonderful Dan Gorman cover art.
That's rad. Is it going to be graphic novel? Is it going to be artwork in it too, or is it just like a straight?
There's going to be pics. So there's not going to be any artwork aside from the movie images and posters.
Nice. So it's good. This will make great coffee table type book.
Oh yeah, yep. It's going to be heavy, and shipping is going to kill us probably.
Yeah,
I would not be able to order 10,000 into any one store.
I've got a buddy who's really big into werewolves, so that might be his Christmas present next year. So yeah.
It should, and I get to read it ahead of time, of course. So right. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. That's really cool. Yeah. I'm gonna go broke just following all of your stuff, man.
Please do. I'm not against this.
Right. You'll do better things with my money than I will. I'll buy things like werewolf books.
I'll just buy apple fritters and die happy is probably what's going
to happen. That's awesome.
What's after anything post Dracula?
Yeah, I'm working on a couple of different script ideas. I was talking to another publishing company about they liked Cult of Dracula a long time ago, but they have more of more of an all ages or like teen focused thing. And so I got this really, my mind is very twisted. And I got this really twisted idea for a script I'm calling Shooter. And it's kind of like, I'm glad you brought up Monster Squad, because it's kind of that bringing the teens together for an adventure. So Monster Squad, Last Starfighter, because there's going to be aliens involved. But it starts out with this kid who's been bullied at school, picked on for no real reason. He's got to the point where he's breaking. And he makes the decision that he's going to go and shoot up the school. And so he's like, we open up with him packing up his gear, is like, his AR-15 and like, just boatloads of ammo. He's ready to go, and just, this is how he's going out. But as he's arriving, a spaceship flies overhead, kind of Star Wars-esque. And he finds out that he's in the middle of an alien invasion, kind of Red Dawn style. And so he comes out, and instead of shooting up the school, he kind of gets his other kind of outcast friends together, and they fight the aliens. So that's my twisted version on an all ages story. I take that. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be kind of, I don't know if anybody would ever touch it with a 200-foot pole, giving the base content that it starts out with. And there's a really, really kick in the gut, brutal twist at the end that's going to be really rough to write. But I think it looks at, with no heroes and no victims, it just looks at what drives someone to that breaking point to where they're willing to do these, like kind of like Michael Douglas's Falling Down film, this normal dude. And, you don't think that he could make a good protagonist for a film, but damn if he didn't. So, I'm hoping that I can, kind of shape this out and make that happen. And then I've also been marinating on an idea to adapt a Frankenstein story set in the atomic age. So kind of that fallout, gung-ho America, nuclear energy, atmosphere, but with the monster as a metaphor for the development of the atomic bomb and nuclear energy. So kind of cooking that around in my head too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll going to be talking to this guy here about drawing them for me, and hopefully we can get them made and get them published, because this writing comics thing is kind of fun.
From time to time.
I'm still on that where I haven't run into the part that I'm not going to enjoy yet. I'm still like basking in it. It's all new to me, so I'm like basking in the glory of just doing it. It's just cool. I'm sure I'll hit that wall eventually where I'm like, I got to do that again. But I'm enjoying it until I can't.
It becomes bothersome again to the point that you're holding a book, and then it all goes away and it starts over again. Yeah, I don't think that's changed for me. Same or a movie or anything. So, but I know of a place that takes weird ideas and runs with them. So,
yeah, what would that place be?
Just FYI, it's no Source Point.
Okay,
I got to do a bunch of. We just started a thing for next year as well. It's called Six from the Abyss that I'm putting together, and it's a bunch of real life dead serial killers like Eileen Wuornos and a gang breaking out of hell, Expendable style.
Yes, I want it.
Yeah, it's messed up. It really is messed up.
David, just take all of my money. Take it.
Sure, that's cool. And so I just order it for the store and then pretend that it's the store's.
This guy, he gets it. He just gets it.
You don't have a store. You just have the world's biggest comic collection.
Right. Yeah. Funny enough, the reason why we opened a comic book store is because my wife told me, she said, okay, look, we need to talk about your comic habit. You either need to either just get rid of it all, or you need to open up a comic book store. She never in her life imagined that I would choose option B. So I chose option B and opened up a comic book store because I didn't want to get rid of my comics.
Good for you. And what else you didn't realize is that now what you were paying for before is a retailer discount. Right. So now there's even more coming in just for you.
Yes. Which is
Careful
why
what you wish for. Your
that's
whole life's
why
a monkey's knot.
we recently expanded our store because we needed a warehouse. So we just took the space over next to us, turned the back into a warehouse. The front we turned into an event space. So yeah, and now we're probably going to need a bigger building in a couple of years. So
awesome.
It's
That's great.
Fun. It's an addiction, man. It really is.
And there's so many stores that are losing out and going out of business. To hear about stores that are doing well is wonderful.
Yeah, and I think companies like SourcePoint and the smaller publishers, they're the reason why the industry is growing. Because I think the old school stores that are locked into, this is the way we've done things since 1975, and this is the way we will always do things, and these are the books that we're always going to carry because we've always carried them. I think those are the stores that are losing out because they just refuse to adapt. The audience, comic book reading audience, doesn't want all superheroes anymore. They want more than capes and tights. And, I think at Nirvana, we've been very successful because we embraced genre books early on. We made the shift. We made the investment in carrying a large selection of graphic novels. We're not completely reliant on the weekly floppies. We still carry them. They're still about 60% of our business, but that the rest of the 40% is graphic novels. And people want them, and people want those horror stories. They want those sci-fi stories. They want those fantasy stories. They want romance and comedy. People still want comedy. And I think the stores that are adapting to what the market wants are doing well. And I think those that are just kind of dug in and just think it's still 1985. I think they're the ones that are struggling really hard, man.
Yeah, I see it. When we do signings or we're hitting store signings and stuff, rarely does anyone get asked to come, or can we book a spot in a store that's the Marvel DC store that smells mildewy still, and the crotchety guy is behind the counter. There's just no more room for that.
Nope.
And I think I'm glad you realized it, and there's plenty of other stores that have realized it as well.
Yep.
That just it's now it's a customer's market, because you can go anywhere. You can go to Amazon and get the same thing.
You've got to give the customer a new experience. Otherwise, you're right. They're just going to go to Amazon or eBay or, a million online stores. You've got to, you can't just be a little dank, dark room in a basement, where you don't clean anymore. You've got to do something, give your customers an experience, and you've got to give them new things they can't find elsewhere. Because you can find Batman or Spider-Man, you can find them in any store, anywhere, a million different ways. I mean, you can get them at Walmart now,
right?
But you can't find Cult of Dracula or Dial P for Peanuts, or these awesome random Image and indie books. You can't find those everywhere. So you got to give them a reason to come to your store, or they're not going to come.
And it's a matter of educating the customer too,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't know about that. There's a whole world outside of Batman and Captain America and Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And you'll always have the guy walking in with his kid for the first time that just saw the Hulk in the movie theater, and they're going to pick up a Hulk comic.
Mm-hmm.
But a long-term readership is, and I think that the stores that are doing it well are fostering long-term readerships. And then, I assure you that your customers, and you're going to hold something for a regular that you think they'll like.
Yep.
And that just it didn't happen for the longest time.
No, people got I think a lot of stores got complacent. And they were just they just locked into their numbers. Okay, I'm going to order 50 copies of Batman, 50 copies of Spider-Man, 50 copies of the X-Men, and that's what I'm going to sell. And this is what, I'm going to make my budget every week because I can predict how many customers are coming in. And they weren't prepared for audiences growing up. And what we notice a lot with our customers is that people come in, they start out really, really hardcore, and they want their superhero stuff. They want the Spider-Man and the X-Men and the Batman and the Superman that they read when they were kids, and they want everything that they're in. They buy tons of it, and that lasts for about 60 days. And then after that, they're like, okay, superhero comics are the same 13 stories recycled with different costumes. I'm bored. What else do you have? Luckily, we can say, hey, I've got 4 entire sections of genre graphic novels back here. Not only are we asking, do you like, what's your favorite genre? We're asking what's your favorite subgenre. So like if you say horror, if you say I love horror, I'm like, okay, well, do you like vampires? Do you like ghosts? Do you like witches? Do you like zombies? Do you like werewolves? Do you like psychological horror, serial killers? And then when they tell us that subgenre, we've got 5 or 10 different graphic novels that we can go to in each one of those and say, here, this is the perfect book for you. And then you're right. Those customers, they become long-term readers because they'll come back for the next zombie book or the next vampire book or whatever. Because they realize there's a whole world of creativity out there beyond capes and lights.
It's just, and it's amazing, Jen. I mean, for me, I'm a little nostalgic. I had a comic shop owner when I was 16 that sold me Faust. If you remember Faust, it was my favorite comic of all time.
Yeah,
Good and Vigil, crazy, just bonkers. And so it was a dank place. You walked in and he knew that I was underage. It was an 18+ comic. And he was just gonna, he charged me extra because I was younger. These shady charlatans. And I'm glad those days are over. But wow, I mean, there was no sex offender registry then, but I guarantee most comic shop owners would have popped up on it.
Back then,
in like the 80s, in the early 80s. Oh my gosh.
Doing commissions
when they used to have like porn sections in the comic book shop.
And that's where Faust ended up. So I mean, I moved to Chicago early on after my undergrad, and I hit up North Star Comics because I had the world's greatest horror comic idea. And I'm like, I'm gonna go to North Star because North Star was putting out Faust and Mongrel and Cold Blooded, and Kyle Hotz was getting his start. And Quinn and Vigil were there, and Brian Azzarello was the editor. So I got a chance to pitch Brian this vampire comic that was about this town in Alaska that's at night, and it wasn't a 30 Days of Night, but it took place in the same kind of era and talked about the same thing. And he paged me, this is that long ago, to let me know like I had to read I Am Legend again because this would never work. Crushed my soul. 5 years later, they're pulling dump trucks up to Steve Niles' house and dumping money on his porch.
Right. Man, and 30 Days of Night, it changed the vampire genre forever, man. It was like you took their biggest problem. They have to sleep during the day. And it's like, what happens if they don't? And it's like, holy shit, that's a whole new take on the vampire mythos. So yeah, you had a great idea.
I had the kernel of one. It was a pretty shitty idea, but there's a little kernel in it. And I I've seen Brian at shows subsequently and mocked myself horribly.
So you were the Microsoft Zune of vampire books. You had a great kernel of idea. It was just a little too early.
Story of my life. No, right after Dial P for Peanuts is over, there's going to be a massive Agatha Christie renaissance that I'm just, whoops, there goes that.
Have you seen the stage play Dog Sees God?
Yes.
God, that is amazing. That's your book. Every time I look at the picture of it, it makes me think of that because it's such a brilliant take on the Peanuts. And like you, they couldn't really call them the characters' names and things. But yeah, that's a great play.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but look out for Snoopy and Woodstock in this.
Gotcha.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry, but I have to take off.
I've got a 12:30 cap too. The family is making me do things.
Yeah.
I've got 4 more walks.
All right. I didn't want to interrupt because of the story.
Thanks. No, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having us, Pete.
Yes, thank you so much. Really
All right. David, I sent you a friend request.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Oh yeah, please hit up Instagrams, all the friend requests, and I'll go back and I'll refriend and reshare, and we'll trade our virtual $10 bill back and forth.
There we go. And definitely, I want you in the store when when COVID calms down and everything, man. That'd be because if for no other reason, we can just sit and talk horror. And I've got one of my employees, McKay Milton, who's the biggest horror geek ever, and he'll talk your ear off until you're tired of him.
That's awesome. So if you guys can show movies, we'll come in. We'll screen Rotten Tail for folks.
Ooh.
You know what? We have a relationship with an independent movie theater here in town. We could totally do that. That would be rad.
Yeah. So we were in theaters in April last year, but happily come to Knoxville and watch no one watch this with us.
Dude, yeah, I'll hit you up on social media. We'll chat about this one later.
Awesome.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Yep. Peter, thanks again.
Yeah, take care.
All right, be well, guys.
You too.
Bye. Hey.
Well, this got a bit lonely.
Did you want to talk to all of them?
Just taking part of the conversation is always the best, best way to get in. But now I got into like a really bad timing, I think. But I'm not going to hold it against you, Peter. How are you doing?
Okay. Good. Do you know Jeff Lafferty?
Yeah. I saw that he returned.
Yeah. Yeah, did a stream with him last night, and it was like old times. Talked up a storm. I crashed and got up for this.
Damn. I don't know, man. What happened? I haven't watched the stream because I was asleep. Just around like the 1 hour mark, I went to sleep.
Yeah. It was good. It was just, catching up. He moved and set up a new studio for himself, and just catching up and talking artists and comics and social media, and it's a normal stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. We've streamed so many times, and it was actually me and him that started all the Artcasters shows and whatnot. He's a good guy, amazing artist. And we have a lot of similar likes because we're around, the early days of comics and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys today were funny. I wish I knew more horror references. There were a few things I could have jumped in with, but I let them have the show, essentially.
Yeah. I was prepared to partake in that. I got an affinity for horror, or specifically like psychological horror, for the most part.
So
But,
what's something you really like? Like what movie or show or whatever?
that genre wise,
Yeah.
This is a very basic answer. I think like The Exorcist, if you want to go with horror. Yeah, that first movie of like 30 Days of Night, that was pretty good. I can't believe that it's holding up like today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. I like it.
But there's a lot of like I'm trying to think here. I'm looking at my shelves right now, and I can like point out exactly what I like. But yeah, like Junji Ito, his manga is pretty good, horror. Then you got like the whole Eroguru genre of manga. It's a little bit grotesque.
I haven't read a lot of manga. Like Akira. the popular stuff goes in the show.
Yeah.
The what is it? Blade of the Immortal is the only thing I really got into. I don't consider that mainstream.
Yeah, a lot of people don't seem to bring up Blade Immortal a lot. You're actually the first guy that I've heard that has been bringing it up.
Yeah, I haven't. I got to go back and like, because back in the day, Dark Horse was doing reprints in America, and I just read random issues. So I probably missed the whole scope of the story. I got to go back and like read the whole thing from start to finish. I know there was a movie made on it, but I'm avoiding that until I like read the comic.
It's nowhere good as the comic. I can assure you that. I watched it and it was sort of like that schlocky kind of animated, no, not anime, but manga to real life adaptation. That they don't do justice for the whole like they don't do justice to the original works. But if there's like one movie that I would recommend that is on like the same vein but not connected to any manga or something, it's called Versus from 2000. It's got it all. Monsters. It's got zombies. It's got samurai fights and gangsters and all that shit. And all of it is just like set in the suicide forest, Akihabara, in Japan.
Right.
Because there's like this whole myth of like there's 666 portals in the world. Around 40 is located in the suicide forest of Japan. And when I saw that, like I think it was 8 years ago. Oh, I got blew back because it sort of like had all of the favorite aspects that I like of like action manga and action anime.
Right.
Yeah.
I did watch Evangelion.
Evangelion.
Evangelion. Like that, you know, a little bizarre. I mean, you know, I could start pulling out titles, I guess, because I have seen a lot. I just forgotten more than anything. It's been a while since I was like really like on top of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, you know, I like stuff that's outside just like standard American films because every other culture has different ways of doing the same thing, and it's really interesting. And
different ways of portraying horror too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like South Korean movies that are off the fucking like bonkers, just crazy. The guy that did Old Boy, he does well well in psychology, like horror. He did one just recently, like with Parasite from 2018.
I gotta finish watching. I started watching it, and for whatever reason, I stopped. Like I guess I had a long night or whatever. I only watched it halfway through. I gotta watch the other half. It's like silly like that, you know. Start things and
yeah. Then there's like his movie before that, The Handmaiden, just fantastic, and that's how you like do like gay romance, right? I believe. It is sort of like a romance plot to it, but the horror doesn't come from what is shown, but what is implied and what is sort of like founded in reality when it comes to abuse. And I've yet to watch the whole like violence trilogy of his, but I plan on doing that in the future.
Neffarious says Blade of the Immortal is still going. I did not know that.
Nah, me neither. But I guess like Dark Horse lost license to do that manga. I think
maybe
it wouldn't be unlikely of them because they do that from time to time.
I heard like I always thought it was like brushwork, but I heard somebody said it might have been pencil work. Just
Blade.
Yeah,
I think it's mixed medias.
Mixed media.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't looked at it lately, so maybe I would notice it more now than when I was originally flipping through it. But I really like the style and just you know, regardless of how it's done.
Yeah. If you want sort of like on par with that, or even better, like the inks of Takiko Inoue on the manga Vagabond. Oh my god, that is, whew, that is inking dreams.
I might have seen that. I'm not 100% sure. I know, like, my brother was into some stuff. Like, had this big ass guy with elaborate tattoo on his back. It was like this girl. I'm vaguely remembering it.
Yeah.
It's everything's like sword fights, and mystery. I don't know. And forget remembering creators' names. Horrible.
I'm gonna share the screen here, so you can like get the.
Here we go.
This here is amazing. Right. This is G-Pen, and not only G-Pen, but there's like I think he uses an 04 for the inks, especially on the hair. Like this example, I think illustrates his best. So the way that he does, like the scratching on the faces and all that stuff, and he also meshes it with halftones, but they're just so good.
Yeah, I think I've seen the logo title looks familiar, so I've probably seen it around. So what are you up to lately?
Let's just say that I'm in not in a good creative headspace. But I'm trying to do the Fogbreaker prompt thingy on the AAA.
Right. Me too. I'm way behind.
And working on the holiday anthology with Neffarious, who's in the chat. Shout out.
Cool.
And
what holiday?
Holiday of Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's sort of like all year type of like celebratory holiday comic in a sense. So it won't be just exclusively for Christmas.
All right. A little off topic, but did you see a trailer just dropped for Mel Gibson's new movie called Fat Man?
No.
It's him as Santa Claus.
No way.
Oh my god.
I mean, he got the beard for it, but the tummy though.
Well, you know, I mean, he doesn't look exactly like.
Oh god, I'm looking at the shots right now. Yeah.
But it's like he's falling on hard times and has to take do a hit to make some money or something along those lines.
Yeah, that sounds typical Mel Gibson. He's got a hard time and falling a little bit too much into the bottle and all that shit. So he plays a good role, like a substitute role for his real life counterpart.
Yeah. I just watched Blood Father, I think it was called. It wasn't bad, you know. I mean, Mel Gibson has done so many great movies. Now he's just taking on any movie. I don't know. It almost seems like.
Yeah, he's sort of like got that. He's got that whole Nick Cage type of thing going on. Maybe he's got too much debt, and so he needs to like hustle for so much work.
Yeah, I mean, was he at 15 kids? I don't know.
Something like that.
It's so crazy. You know, I'd be surprised if he stayed sane.
9.
So, you know.
9 kids.
9 kids. Yeah, it's just like 9 kids is a freaking lot.
Yeah. I mean, if you could pump out like 1 Hacksaw Ridge every year, I bet he could sustain himself. But yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing with the Fogbreaker challenge?
What?
You doing the script or the art or both?
I've sort of taken a spin on it and tried to work up comic strips for my upcoming series, Bone Meal. It's sort of like a good way to get material and at the same time have like a theme laid out for me, so I can like tackle it from multiple angles instead of having me cobbling up different kinds of strips without any like assistance.
Right.
And the prompt really helped me out to find like new things to like play with and experiment with.
Yeah, I mean, I was using it as like, so I'm writing and I have an artist, but the artist has a day job and a life, so I'm filling in some artwork too. But I'm using it as just mostly just to write every day. You know, because I get a trilogy of novels I'll be writing one day. When I signed a contract recently, and I figured it would be great to just write prose for the challenge. And I'm, originally I was going to follow the prompts, but it doesn't really work with the story I'm constructing. So I was like, but
if you want to use your if you want to like do drafts and all that stuff in November coming up right now, and the NaNoWriMo is coming around. If you've heard of that.
Yeah. I've attempted that a couple of times. The thing is with me and challenges is usually like I start it and fizzle out. There's a reason why I signed a contract to do a series of novels, because on my own I'd never get around to it. But if you throw me in advance, then I'll be motivated. So that's my situation.
There's like this thing called psychic profits, and for artists that don't got any risk or monetary gains from it, they some are susceptible to low psychic reward, not like psychic profits, in that they don't feel satisfied doing it at all, or just don't feel motivated to it, because work's got such a strong association with money or other things.
Yeah,
and then,
I think for me it's more just there's only so much time in the day, and I got these paying, gigs that people would pay me for, and I got my own personal product, and I got way too much going on and not enough life going on. So it's like, while initially it's a sparkly object, reality sets in, and it's like, I don't have time for this. What am I doing this?
I got the complete opposite problem. I don't have too much life, but I don't like work at all. But I won NaNoWriMo last year, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah,
cool. But I did a comic strip. No, a comic script. Sorry, slip.
So, but like, so their challenge is whatever it is, like 1,200 words a day. Like, did you do a comic strip with that amount of words in it?
No, I scripted my. I was preparing my first work. I like the long running series through draft, and so the goal is to like hit 50K within November 30th.
Right.
And like on a daily, you got to chop out at least 1,667 words.
Right. Yeah.
So I had days where like I were not motivated to do anything, but then there was other days that I just were super concentrated, like wrote 40, no, not 40, but 4,000 words or something.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna plan on doing that this year, but instead of doing a long running series, I'll be working out drafts for several shorter stories, so I can do that. Get rid of the whole like script part that keeps me from making the comics, in a sense.
Right. Yeah. It's I have no problem writing. Like the biggest challenge is going to be constructing the outline for the novels, and I figure I'll take the first month if necessary and just focus on building an outline that makes sense. Because I was approached to do this with somebody who already had a character and kind of a story start
Right on. Hey, Frank.
laid out. So,
Hey guys.
Yep, Frank's here. Now we can all go home.
Bye everyone.
Welcome.
Cool.
What you got going on?
I made a little commercial for the I Can't Believe It's Not the Artcast, so I was just spreading that around. I just posted it on TikTok. So,
I think you can share a video with the share screen option if you want to play it for all of us. You want to try?
well, I'm on my phone, and so I can't like share from my phone.
I gotcha.
Yeah. But I just posted it on my channel, so anyone wants to check that out. It's the latest video on there. So, it's a little funny video I did with Fabio commercials.
Cool. I would do it myself. I would share it myself, but I know like my internet and PC can't take me sharing stuff. Everything slows down to a crawl.
Want to let me give a shot? I can probably do it.
Yeah, unless Stinch wants to.
Give it
Uh,
a shot.
Just hold on. I don't know if sound is playing, so you got to tell me if the sound doesn't play. All right.
Okay.
And accept.
Oh, wait. Whoops.
Ready?
I knocked him out. Hold on. Okay.
Tell me if the sound isn't on. Okay.
All right.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
I don't hear the sound. Yeah, sound's not on, but I see it.
Oh. It encourages us to go and watch it firsthand. It looks funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're rebranding the name though. So next week is going to be our last episode.
Right.
But the week after that, it's the new name. So.
Do you have a name or?
Yeah, well, we have a name. We're just not announcing it till I think next week, just to keep everyone in suspense. And Nana's working on the logo, on the new logo. So once she has that done, we can reveal everything in one shot. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's
Other
awesome.
than that, just here. Just been working. Trying to finish up. Trying to do this comic for the anthology, the holiday one.
Yep. How's it going?
Good. I got a rough story idea, and I have I think I have the thumbnails I was working on last time, so I need to make more thumbnails. And, so yeah, hopefully I'll knock it out, and yeah, when I do that, I'll put it up on. Well, not put it up, but I have a coffee account. So what I've been doing when people donate, like if they donate at least like $3, I'll send them a couple of
I think my internet's
PDFs for the mini comics. But if they donate more than that, I'll just send them everything I got, and I'll include that in there. So
Yeah, and I can attest to that. I got mine
cool.
through the coffee, and I thoroughly enjoyed that because I did not expect it to be dropped in the as like a reward of sorts.
yeah, I had recently thought of that after I think it was a Monkey Wrench from the Discord.
Yeah.
He has a mini comic subscription, but I think you have to pay into that to be able to do that. So I was like, well, I mean, I can do the digital version of that, which I mean, just donate and I'll send you some mini comics. And since Stinch and a couple of others had already donated, I just sent it to them, and people who were donating, I'll send them stuff too. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I had a group of people that wanted on today's episode. 3 out of that batch showed up. I know one had a problem logging on, so I'll talk to him sometime later today or this week and see what the issue was. But I was expecting at least 5 more people, I think. But that's how the randomness of these go, which I'll expect. You know, like this is different than just having one guest on, and you know, this is more of a random thing.
Yeah, you gotta love a little bit of randomness in your life, right?
Yes. And there's also a hurricane happening. I don't know if that has
shit,
affected
really?
There is? Wow.
I think it. I mean, unless it passed already. I think it's Delta. Was that yesterday? Maybe.
Wow.
I know. It's like raining here today, and that's probably like the edge of it. Maybe.
Okay.
I haven't really been keeping up on weather other than random stuff I heard.
Yeah, I got a snap from a relative, and currently it's snowing. So I don't know, weather out of whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets
It's been a
crazy.
crazy year.
But yeah, it should be hurricane season now, isn't it? Like the end of it.
Yeah, we had a hurricane warning, I think, like last month. So we had a hurricane pass by here. I think we actually had 2, but they weren't that bad. At least not for me, not for my area.
Right.
So the hurricane. And the hurricane Delta is passing on Louisiana, following by Nashville, Tennessee, and then will move over to Ohio on Monday at 7 o'clock CDT.
There you go.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm sure the rain I'm getting is from that. So we were talking before you got up,
Yeah.
like anime shows or manga comics that we were into. And have you read any of that stuff?
Not like recent stuff, but I used to watch Full Metal Alchemist.
heck yeah.
So I like that. I like that show, and I had seen also
Yeah, that's
Death
good.
Note, and so some of the older stuff, and I used to watch a little bit of Naruto back in the day, but I never really kept up with it. I hear it's still going on.
Yeah, the second generation, Boruto. So you follow Naruto's kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The original series ended in 2015, 2016.
Okay. Yeah.
But nothing like matches up with like the younger years of Naruto, because the adolescent years aren't so good because of like regular problems when it comes to these Shonen Jump series of like power creep and dragging out the show to like the end of time, and so it deteriorates the quality immensely. But stuff like Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist, both of them are just classics. They should be considered classics in their own right.
I watched what was it, Brotherhood?
Yeah,
On Netflix.
that is the that follows the manga bit point by point.
It was great.
That's more accurate to the manga. The first one veered off after all because the manga wasn't finished at that point, so it was like only to a certain part.
That's right.
And then they did their own thing. But actually, I like both versions. Can you guys hear me all right? I got a message that something was wrong with my audio.
No problem.
I think Neffarious sent me a message.
He's joining us.
Good morning, guys.
Hey.
Good morning.
Bedhead.
I got the alert. The alert went off that Pete was doing the stream at a late last night, so it woke me up first thing.
Yeah, I've been waiting to come on, and I got busy doing stuff.
Give her an anime. Ever watch Legend of the Overfiend? I haven't.
I have not.
I'm more familiar with the Japanese titles. Urotsukidoji. Sorry, Urotsukidoji. Yeah, I've seen that OVA series. It's bonkers. That is like peak 80s anime when it comes to violence and nudity and all that stuff. So you gotta strap in if you want to watch that. If you want to watch that schlock.
Okay.
You should join us, Gibran. What you up to?
Yeah. Jeff was on last night, and now Gib. So.
Yeah. It's the old gang.
Yeah. I'm gonna be on a Twitch stream later today. I think 6 o'clock my time. With Anna, and it's her cousin's stream, so we're gonna be promoting. We're just talking about comics, and I'll promote the show.
Nice.
Cool.
And
That's
he's gonna
right,
be
you
a
mentioned that.
guest. Yeah, and he's gonna be a guest on the 21st, so that just hop on each other's shows.
That's the way to do it. Spread the love.
Look a bit sad, Neff. What's going on?
No, I'm waking up. Like I said, yeah, I got the alert that Pete was doing the stream, and woke me up.
Oh, okay.
And then you've been on like a slumber mode ever since.
Yeah, I'm still. I got coffee brewing downstairs. I don't want to bother you guys.
It's still morning
Down
for
and getting
you,
it
Neff.
though. It's a late morning for me. It's like noon here, right?
Yeah, me too.
I had a late night. It was one of those nights.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to bed I accidentally slept on the couch like 7 in the morning and woke up, and then I went back to bed and woke up like 2 hours ago. So yeah, I got that afternoon snooze too.
Yeah, I was up late and didn't sleep good, so I was sleeping, and then I was up again, and I was sleeping, and I was up again. One of those nights.
Okay.
Yeah, you did the stream last night too.
After 1.
Yeah.
But I was up by 6. Went for a morning walk. Did some editing. So I got some stuff done.
All of you productive people.
Yeah. Well.
Getting up at reasonable hours and doing things.
Oh yeah, that's the best part,
No time for this.
I really liked. There were 2 series that were on Netflix. I think they maybe still are. One was Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Really like that.
They just released season 3 on Netflix. Check it out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
I gotta
so
check
go
it
back
out.
and revisit it. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I think I saw the first 2 adult.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember Adult Swim. For me, that was a while ago. I haven't watched Cartoon Network in forever.
Oh man, it's been years.
Yeah, Adult Swim fell off the wagon on like several things.
Yep.
I'm not going to comment on that. Like murdering my favorite show. That's one. Still mad. Still mad.
What was the other series, Frank? What was the other series that you were seeing or that you saw on Netflix?
Let's see. There were some I saw on Netflix, but I don't remember like the names. They're a little obscure. They seem interesting though.
They have a pretty big anime section now, which is something that I didn't expect. I used to use Crunchyroll, and then there was this other streaming service. I'm not sure what it was. I'd have to look it back up, but I had to get it to watch Konosuba because they didn't have that on Crunchyroll at the time for some reason.
What?
Konosuba? They didn't have Konosuba.
They didn't have season 2 on that?
No. For some reason, it wasn't there, so I actually bought a subscription very briefly to another streaming service that did anime, and watched that, and then canceled my subscription because I'm a horrible person.
I've done that with Netflix.
I'm trying to think that there was one Gundam something.
There have been so
There's
many
like
of them,
a little
man.
kid. There's a little kid who's like a digger. I don't know. There's robots
that's
in there.
Gurren Lagann.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
Gurren
Gurren
Lagann.
Lagann.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
freaking
show
love that.
was dope.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
there's such a gut punch in the very early stages of that show. It was one of the defining moments for me of that series. Like, just it was so surprising. It was such an emotional episode. I had to see what happened, and I stuck with that show forever.
Yeah. The swan song of most of the now trigger staffed people when it comes to Gynax. And but yeah, most of their stuff right now they're doing gangbusters, like Little Witch Academia and Kill la Kill and Paul Marais and all that stuff.
Didn't they do Darling in the Franxx, or am I imagining? Or am I crossing my studios?
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort with another studio.
Trigger and IG are both great.
I don't know. IG is sort of like killed, or is it JC Staff that's got the Ghost in the Shell license now? I don't know. Production IG had at least like the feature movies in the 90s for Ghost in the Shell.
Mm-hmm.
And did stuff like
It's a new
Evangelion.
CGI. Yeah.
Which one did you see? Which one are you talking about, Pete? New CGI?
Ghost in the Shell. There's a new.
Oh
series.
Yep.
I saw that.
I haven't seen it yet.
I came across it. I didn't actually watch it. I saw that it exists.
Yeah.
Somebody said it was okay. I'll check it out. Yeah.
I hear Sailor Moon is popular again.
Sailor Moon. Let's kick Frank off this stream.
I was surprised to see on Netflix. I was surprised to see Saint Seiya. That was a blast.
Yeah. Saint Seiya is like
Knights of the Zodiac. That's just that kind of anime. I expect Netflix to carry that.
Cowboy Bebop, Scroll.
Okay.
Tenchi Muyo, Appleseed, Cowboy Bebop, Ninja Scroll. Yep. Yeah. He's listening to classics.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched Tenchi. That's probably all I watched out of that list.
I'm a sucker for giant robots. You guys know me, so definitely Appleseed, Gundam, later Code Geass. Anything that has giant robots in it, odds are I probably dabble in it. Big O.
Yeah, the big. Oh my god! James Bond and Mecha, man.
Yep, it was great. His butler was such a badass.
Have you seen Rasafan?
Rashafan, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't finish that though. Like I said, I've at least dipped my toe in the series. I may not have watched it all the way to the end.
If you want like part mecha, part tokusatsu, SOS Gridman is a great series. It's just
I saw Gridman. Yeah, I actually saw the English live action adaptation of Gridman, or like the rip-off of Gridman.
Uh-huh.
There was a show in English that ripped off SSSS. Is it 5 or 4 S's? I can't remember.
I think it's 4 SOS Gridman. It's sort of hard when it comes to these Japanese titles. They want to stick it out in the weirdest way possible.
It's a snake.
Yeah, maybe
it's
watch
Gridman.
Yeah, Frank?
Did any of you watched Ruby? I think it's RWBY.
Yeah,
it's like
I watched
anime inspired, but it's I think it's
Yeah, it's off a Rooster Teeth's channel, the same guys that did Red and Blue. It actually took on a much more decidedly anime feel later on in the series. Early on, it was a little choppy, the animation, but man, were their fight scenes incredible. That was so like it was like watching a music video the whole time. It was so good. But again, I fell off. I didn't finish the series. I think I got through season 3 and then just kind of stopped watching.
I think I just saw season 1. But I heard that it got
Later,
better.
Gibran.
Later,
Gib.
Like it.
Yeah, like just recently they had to fire the lead executives or something because of the sex tape.
Yep, because of cancel culture.
Yeah.
It was Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. That was it. That was the American version of SSSS Gridman. It was the live action Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. Short for SSSS. Yeah.
With Matthew Lawrence, right?
Yep. And they ran it in the US. Yeah,
I didn't know that was a ripoff, but I used to watch that show. I thought it was
I mean, I don't know if ripoff's the right word, like
homage.
Inspired homage. Yeah. I mean, Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad's 4 S's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's based on based on Denko Chojin Gridman. But most of like the tokusatsu stuff that has been carried over overseas, they sort of like chopped the interesting bits of like the fights and everything, and then they did localization, just like Power Rangers.
Yeah, I was thinking that's what Power Rangers did. Which I think was the same company, right? Was it Saban that did that one? Or I know they did VR.
I'll check to see if it was Saban. Saban did the Power Rangers, right?
Yeah. They also did Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember Big Bad Beetleborgs? Dang, Frank, you and I got that that weird American live action wannabe anime television history.
Oh yeah.
No, it was
Tsuburaya
Tsuburaya that did. Yeah, looks like it was Tsuburaya.
Distributed by American Television.
Dick is that publishing or the production studio in the US that does like all of the kids shows. It's the DIC with the big red dot in the middle. I'm gonna take you guys downstairs for coffee.
They did Captain Planet, right? Like Captain Planet was on there.
Yep.
I remember seeing that everywhere.
Yep, that was the you know the logo that I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you're about my age then, Neff?
I think so. Yeah, I just turned 40, so.
Okay, I'm a little older than you.
Little bit, maybe. Yeah, that's not much, man. We're the same generation.
Yeah, not by a lot, but yeah. You young whippersnappers.
I'm the oldest one in the room.
but you're young at heart, so we won't fault you.
43.
That's right. A little older than 43.
I don't know. Everybody's
growing up.
No, that didn't work. The phone did not stay up.
Growing up, I watched Battle of the Planets.
Oh man, that was great. Yes, the planets with the hawk costumes. That was so good. It was like a wannabe Voltron weird, with no robots. Yeah, that was good anime. I mean, was it anime or was it just cartoon? I don't know. I think it was anime, right? It counts. I think it counts, right? I mean, currently in Japan, they'll call anything animated anime. Yeah. According to them, Family Guy's anime. So.
Okay.
But not Corey in the House for some reason.
The old Superbook series, wasn't that anime, or because it had that same quality, like that old anime? Or is that like too old for you guys?
Everything is too
Superbook
old for me.
series?
Huh?
I don't think I know the one you're talking about, Frank.
Superbook? It's a Christian anime style. I mean, you had that look to it, where they would time travel into the Bible, into like Bible stories.
Yeah, I never saw that.
I watched that anime, Davy.
Davy and
But Davy, what are you?
Davy and Goliath. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So,
You know, get back into like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh yeah,
Technically anime.
indeed. Like the same thing goes for like when they call manga or what we call manga, they also call in Japan komiksu.
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 sounds like comics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a borrowed term.
Yeah.
So they borrow from us, we borrow from them.
Yeah,
Pretty
watch
much.
it. Watch it.
Theirs is a cool culture. I was just over there. I think it's 2 years ago now. I was supposed to go back this year, but coronavirus killed everything and canceled the Olympics. So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
The biggest cancel culture.
So
coronavirus
in
is
Japan?
cancel culture. Yeah.
yeah. You went to Japan?
Yeah, man. I got a taste of that culture, and I didn't want to come home. My wife and I went over there for 3 weeks, and we were supposed to do 1 week in Hawaii. And so we went. I didn't want to leave. I almost didn't get on the plane. Tried to get her in the airport. She got mad. So then we went. We did Hawaii for a week, and I convinced her to let me go back to Japan. So we went back to Japan for a couple weeks. Because man, it's just so fun over there. We spent all our time in, Akihabara and Tokyo and Kyoto, running around playing in those arcades that are like 6 stories tall. They know how to have fun. They really do. They know how to have fun over there.
Yeah, it's one of those places, I would like to visit. We'll see if that happens.
We just got to get you a reason to get out there. A road trip.
Wow.
Do research. I went and saw the Gundam over there when we were out. They just put up the Unicorn Gundam. Not the new one. The new one can like move and has fully articulated joints and everything.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Unicorn
like
Gundam
headquarters.
Did the transformations. So I went out there, of course, because I was researching for my book. I had to go visit the large life-size robot because it's a business expense, right? That whole Japanese trip. But it was cool. I want to go back and see the new one, the new Gundam. It looks really interesting. People said that the Unicorn Gundam doesn't move. I think it does. I think they both move. I think they're both actually super weapons. And they've convinced us that they're just, neat statues and tourist attractions. But I think, when the shit really goes down, they're going to have Gundams, guys. We're not going to be ready.
It's like Stonehenge.
That's the next wave of Corona.
Right? Did you ever see, was it the War of the Worlds movie with Tom Cruise? It wasn't very good.
The 2005 one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my friends and I were joking because they go and they talk about like all over the world what's transpiring with like the aliens. They talk about how like the aliens are messing everybody up on the news. They never mention Japan. That's because Japan has giant robots. Giant robots to fight aliens. They unleashed the Gundams. Japan's fine.
Yeah, their space force is already set in stone. They don't have to worry.
They're already mining asteroids, boys.
Yeah. Have you read The Expanse, Neff? and that's where he died. The connection.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, it usually happens at his house. Just give it an hour, and then it suddenly like drops. Hello, Michael.
No, Michael.
Hey,
we got 5 at the moment.
spread the word, Mike.
If you want to join us, anybody, I already dropped the link, but I'll drop it again. Join the conversation.
Yeah. I had to type it out again this time, so I don't know what. It might be my phone. And my phone cuts out on when I do Discord video calls, so and that's how we're gonna stream today. So hopefully I don't have any problems.
Yeah, you appear to like drop in and out every like 30 minutes.
Yeah, since the sound will drop out.
Yeah.
For me, I can hear you guys, and I'll say something,
Right.
and I'll know it's like you guys aren't responding. And that's just the audio call. Then it's all drop on, drop back in.
Mm-hmm.
And if it keeps happening, well, then I just drop out. So,
I'm
but in
convinced
video-
technology spirits hate
in
me.
video, it kind of it robots a bit, and it pauses. It breaks up.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not that bad today.
I blame
I blame
the robots.
So I was going to do a comic review of the new Machine Man series that Marvel dropped as part of their big machine war. Do you guys know what's going on in Marvel
No.
Comics right now? Okay. So
No.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
Pennsylvania.
Of course, it's one of those multi-title crossover events because that's what Marvel does to sell comics. More power to them. But one of the problems is if you don't know what's going on in one title, you don't know what's going on in the meta plot. So I picked up Machine Man #2, and I'm still going to do a review of this because it's just too ridiculous not to. But I picked up Machine Man #2, and I realized, oh, this is, #2 in the series. So luckily they had the back issue. They had the single floppy of Machine Man #1. And I was like, oh, sweet. I've got both of them. I crack open Machine Man #1, and it says, do not proceed until you read the events of Iron Man #4 or something. And there's #3 or #4. I'm like, oh, God damn it. Now I have to go find Iron Man. So I managed to do it. I went and got the Iron Man comic, and I got like an issue ahead, and an issue after just in case. And I'm like, Marvel, I see what you're doing to me, man. I've already spent like over $20-something on just trying to read one comic book. So kudos on them for knowing how to make the money. But I don't know how many people are dedicated enough to try and stick with it. Anyway, what's going on in Marvel right now is they have this big machine AI war, which is right up my alley. And like Tony Stark's brother, Arno Stark, took over the corporation, and Tony Stark is just an AI, and he's a robot now. So it's like robots versus humans for machine rights, and they're in the streets marching for, equality and stuff. It's weird. But I got the Machine Man comic. I don't remember what I was going. Oh, right. Blame the robots. That's what started all of this. So I got the Machine Man comic, and I don't know if you guys remember Machine Man from back in the day, but he was created by Kirby, long time ago. And they did.
Yeah.
You should check me on that. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, check me. It's created really early, and they did stuff with him, and then they just kind of abandoned after they did Next Wave Agents of Hate. The Monica Rambeau team.
I love that.
It was really funny character. Yeah, I mean, it's Ellis, man. Ellis is my boy. I love all of his stuff. He was what convinced me that I wanted to be a comic writer. So
yeah.
After that, I didn't hear anything from him. But they bring him back in this series, and he's a lot more temperate, you know, and he's a lot more, I guess, normal as a hero. And by the end of the series, he's back to being his good old self. You know, pick a fleshy god and pray. But I can definitely understand how you want to blame the robots for the technological devices failing everywhere. They're trying to rise up. Just ask Iron Man, you know, the AI. They're trying to get one up on us. They're coming for our things.
Just ask Google.
You know it to be true.
Iron Stack was made by Kirby, but it was for the 2001 Space Odyssey comic.
Oh, cool. Good old Kirby.
I like the Barry Smith Machine Man miniseries back years and years ago.
That was in the 80s, 90s. Was that one the one? I think that was the last time he had anything solo. Yeah, it was the last time he did anything solo. So that's why when I saw that it was a separate Machine Man title, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It's Machine Man. He's got his own book, but he only gets 2 issues. So I don't even know if they got an issue 3. I don't know if he's getting one. Still is excited though. So what do you guys have planned for the rest of the day?
Murder pages. That's my plan.
Yeah, I got a little bit of writing to do.
Yeah, I go
eat a lot, sleep a lot more.
Yeah, I have that Twitch stream at 6 p.m. But before that, I'm gonna be working on some stuff. Right now, I'm trying to teach myself Clip Studio Paint and just getting the hang of using the graphics tablet more. So I'm just going over a turnaround template right now, working on my lines, working on just being able to draw more smoothly on this.
So you're drawing digitally now? Sure. Are you using like a Cintiq? What are you drawing on?
I'm using a Gaomon. That's what I'm using right now.
Nice, dude.
I got this a couple of years ago to just to get better at digital drawing, but it just sits here. So like, okay, well, I better just start using it, and that's how I'll get better.
Did you see the Cintiq tablet that they came out with? It's the size of an easel. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm planning on buying that one.
That one's a little pricey, bro.
I don't care.
It's worth it though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just ain't that
bad.
bad.
I hear good things about the Cintiqs, but I mean, for me, yeah, they're little. If I'm barely getting the hang of this, like, I'm not gonna spend.
Oh no, you'll get it.
On that yet. So I get the.
It's funny because with Clip Studio Paint, there are all these little features that you might not expect at first to be able to utilize. I remember when the artist that I work with was first learning it, he was coming off Corel and he started using Clip Studio Paint and he was like, oh my god, the little tiny details that they changed from Corel to this make all the difference, but you don't expect to encounter them and start learning them, like beyond like blended layers and stuff and the custom palettes and all the things that he couldn't do in real life. Yeah. That the technology allows him to do. He was super stoked. Oh, yeah. So I think you're gonna have fun. You're gonna find little parts about the program that just tickle you in interesting ways. He was like a child in a candy store learning to use this thing. I was like, oh, that's so cute. You enjoy learning. I wish I could too. I'm set in my ways and old. And the last technology that I learned was Final Draft.
Well, you're younger than me, and I'm still learning. So.
Your brain seems more plastic than mine. The brain seems like it has more elasticity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you adapt.
So what are you chewing gum as a kid?
You had a lot of chewing gum. It migrated to your brain. That's not supposed to stay in you forever, right?
For 7 years. So every 7 years, I pop a new stick.
What was your preferred poison? Was it Hubba Bubba? Was it Ultimate Bubble? Fruit by the Foot? Or What was it? Not
Big
fruit
Red.
by foot. I will do fruit by the foot. Let's see. Bubble for a while. Bubble tape.
Yeah, bubble tape. That was it.
Wrigley. Right now, I got some. I think it's Stride. Some packs of Stride gum.
Yeah. Did you guys ever try that 5 gum?
Yeah.
The commercials?
I think I did a while back. Yeah.
I always wanted to. I was too afraid. Like, there'd be an explosion in the background, or ice would come cascading out of the sky.
Let me tell you, it's not good for you.
No.
That frosted mint that they had in that thing, oh my god, almost killed my teeth. And I'm a pretty big chewing gum enthusiast.
Yeah,
I like chewing rubber.
Sweets and candy really messed up my teeth. So I shouldn't have any, but I still have some. But
I tried to wean myself back off of stuff like Starbursts and Airheads, like the taffy textured candy stuff. Yeah. Oh man, those were my favorites. That and Skittles and that kind of candy. Yeah. It was so hard for me to give up, but I had to. It's bad for me. What's your Twitch stream about tonight?
It's not mine. It's I think his name is Jonathan Boring. He's Anna's cousin. Mm-hmm. So it's called Unpopular Topics, and I need to get the link for that so I can actually share it out to people.
Yeah, post it up so that we can see it. I don't actually have a Twitch account, but
I made one just for that because I thought
just
I
for
needed
this
a Twitch account. Let's see. For this episode, we're gonna be talking about comics. I think it's one of the first episodes he's doing, so it's just light. And hopefully they do a good job. If they like me, maybe I'll can go back on again. And he's gonna be a guest in 2 weeks.
On your show?
Yeah, on my show. Can't believe it's not the Artcast. But by then we're gonna have the new name, which.
Oh, what you're changing the name of the show?
Yeah, because originally the way we did it, it was just kind of to fill in for Jeff Lafferty. Now that Jeff Lafferty is coming back, we kind of just want to do our own thing. So we're gonna drop the name, and I did that just for fun. I can't believe it's not the Artcast, but it's a mouthful, and then some people are asking. They don't always get the reference, so she can make it something simple. So we've been coming up with a new name. We landed on one finally.
Are you going to tell us what it is, or is it a surprise?
It's a surprise. You're gonna have to wait for Wednesday.
Always.
Frank Salazar, man of many surprises.
Yeah, we're also doing a challenge on the show. And I forgot to mention it last week when we had the TikTok guy. He does candy art, so it's a pretty fun show. But if we can get Anna and Keith to 100 subs, Anna and I are gonna eat some bugs on the stream. And I did eat a crickets on the video for Stinch in honor of him completing and winning the 24-hour comic.
I saw that, man. That was really good. I
got a couple more bugs in the freezer, so we got more stuff coming.
There's a Mexican place by my house, or my old house, because I moved. But they made these crazy good lime chili dusted, dried crickets. And I never thought that I would like eating bugs until I tried them. And man, I gotta tell you, I don't think anyone could serve them up the way these guys did. Yeah, they were actually really delicious. So, you ever say oh, eat some bugs? It's great because you can trick these people into thinking that you're doing something so gross or whatever. Those things taste so good. They're smoky and spicy, and you're like, oh no, I'm eating delicious things.
Yeah, people think we're doing it for the views, but Anna genuinely likes to eat bugs, and she got me into it. And I used to do it as a kid. I mean, I don't know if anyone else did, but
Did you eat them cooked or raw?
As a kid, I ate them raw. Now I cook them, I prepare them, I get the flavored ones. So yeah, people think like, oh yeah, you're just doing it for views. Like, no, we just kind of want to do it because we want to do it.
Kind of like the bugs, man.
Yeah. So,
but more power to you to get the views anyway. Pizza, yeah, I like pizza too. Pizza's good. We could have a pizza eating party to congratulate people for getting a certain number of subs. I'd be down.
With bugs.
I would order you guys.
You say that
pizza.
I did one.
You did, man. Yeah, Sal beat me to the punch on all
I
these
did
things.
little videos just to test it out, and I would send them to Anna. But I'm thinking of getting those, editing them down, and just slowly putting them on my show. But I did one where I bought some pizzas. And I cut out a little section. I put couple of katydids that I had, cooked them and ate it. And,
so bugs on pizza, like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
If I get to 100 subs, because I haven't even really launched the channel yet. It's very small. I think Stinch has no videos and more subs than me. If I get to 100 subs. We'll have a pizza party, and I will buy you guys pizza, and we'll have a remote pizza party. How about that? Yeah. So we'll each have a box of pizza in our own separate locations, secret layers. And we'll eat pizza together.
Cool. What's you'll have to send us. Am I subscribed to your link? Channel? Good to check it out.
I don't think so. It's this account is my personal account, but the one that we're using for the business is the Global Frequency account, and it's impossible to find because, like I said, we have no followers and no videos. But once we put stuff out, I'll send you guys links.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, gotcha. That's where we're going to be hosting shows and things like that for the company that we do things with. My own personal stuff.
Anna only had like 2 or 3 videos. Actually, she only had 2 videos, and we started promoting it, and now she has 59 subs, and now she has like.
Yeah, but videos. I'm not as likable as Anna.
Bullshit. Well, I'm saying we can get you up there. We can get you at least started, even with no.
Oh, right videos. On. Thanks. Thank you. I'm humbled. Thank you.
We'll get you
viewers. Eventually. I want to sell my comic book. That's what I want to do. I want to finish my comic book. I got to finish it before I sell it, right?
It's true.
Yep. Some people sell it before they finish, but,
Yeah.
So earlier in the stream, you said that if you get an advance, you're motivated to do stuff. Like you could write on your own, but if you get hired to do things, that's kind of your kryptonite. You realize that you gave us your kryptonite, right? All we got to do is now send you money to write things, and you're on the hook, right? That's how that works.
You want me to write a giant robot story?
Maybe we'll do a collab. Maybe we'll do something together. Who knows? My giant robot stories. That's kind of the thing that I want to do with the rest of my life. But I had an idea for a comic book hero that I wanted to do, and I could definitely use some help from people, in the independent creators community, to like run this idea by them and see if it's at all worth doing. Of course, I've never written a superhero story before, like a comic book hero style story before. I've read plenty, but I don't know about writing it. Maybe there's something in the future. Who knows? Maybe Sal will help us too. Stinch, you just get to watch.
God damn it! I thought I was going to get work.
Well, we're going to do that holiday thing. That holiday thing will get done.
Now that's one thing, but it would have been interesting to like grow my artistic ability and just do some mech in the future, because most of my shit is just.
You can always contribute art and stuff. The website also does commissions and stuff. If you ever wanted to be like, hey, feature a piece of my art, you do that.
I mean, yeah, I could do that totally.
Yeah, you guys, if you guys want, go check out the website and see if you want to like contribute artwork to it. We'll do a commission, or see if you want to like do something through the website, sell. Because a lot of people do the Indiegogo thing and then they go on demand. But after that, I don't know if they still host their work anywhere. We try to launch through our company so that we can go onto Indiegogo, do the crowdfunding, go to in demand, but then also have a place afterward to anchor the product for sale. If people finally hear about it and they're like, "Oh, that's really cool. I wish I could find it." No, I'm sorry, it's not online anymore. Well, we would have a direct store. We have merch. we have a merch store on our website too. You can buy clothes and hats and stickers and stuff.
Have you dropped the link in the Discord?
No. Oh, in the Discord, yeah. In the Discord I did. But not in
check it out.
The chat. Yeah.
I'll check it out in the Discord.
Yeah, I'll drop it again for you. DM it to you or something. It's a nice day out. Is it still a hurricane over where you are, Pete?
It's not a hurricane. I was just saying, like, it's raining. It's probably like the edge of the hurricane, or
It's beautiful here.
Yeah, I haven't been out. Well, I was outside in the morning, but it was dark. But there wasn't any rain.
Yeah, there are days that I don't
in
get
South
outside.
Texas.
Oh, nice. Right on.
Yeah, I was outside all day yesterday. I was working. I was working with a roofer, just assisting. So I got a lot of sun yesterday. So I was a little tired when I got home. But I still was able to get some things done.
There are days when I spend all of it inside, and I know Stinch is allergic to sunlight, so it's nice that one of us is.
I've had those days too where I haven't even been outside, like, just to check the mail, and then that's how I found out. We have a hurricane. Like, oh,
you went to the mailbox, and the mailbox wasn't there anymore.
Trees blown down. Like, oh, okay.
That actually happened to us one winter. We had a snowplow take out our mailbox, and we didn't know for several days because it was at the top of the driveway. We were snowed in because we didn't plow the actual driveway. They just plowed the street at the top of the driveway. So we didn't know for several days that our mailbox wasn't there anymore. We weren't getting any mail.
You didn't call Mr. Plow?
No, there's no Mr. Plow out by where I am. It was our first year, and we didn't really know the area.
Plow.
That's not gonna work.
You just got to take your shovel and get to work.
I did, and I put out my back. It was great.
I love I love plowing snow. It's the best feeling. Like when you're done. when you come inside after like a hard days of like shoveling snow, and you feel like the sweat turning cold as you go inside. Oh yeah, it's so good. But that might just be like a weather fetish of mine. I don't know.
I haven't had that experience.
A weather fetish.
I like shoveling
snow here, so.
I like shoveling snow, but yeah, I'm in Kentucky now, and we have barely gotten snow since I've been here. We had one real ice storm like years ago, where I didn't leave the house for 3 days straight because it was just like ice everywhere.
Nasty, man. Take a spill on that. We could trade weather, I'll trade Northeast weather with your Kentucky weather. You can borrow some of mine, and you can give me some of yours. And I think that'll work out well for both of us. Yep.
The freakiest thing, right? Like, when the sun looked brighter and things started to clear up a little bit. My first day out after the ice storm, walking like basically in the street because there's no sidewalk or anything. And it was right below the telephone wires, and there was all icicles hanging, and one giant one dropped like 5 feet in front of me. If it dropped on me, it could just like spear my skull. Yeah.
Walking in
It's
the
like,
winter
Jesus Christ.
wonderland.
We had a storm recently took out most of the power lines in the area, and my wife and I, we were driving out, and because our house lost power, we were driving out to try and go to a hotel or something. And we live in this area where there are a lot of little streets that don't aren't popular. They're not they don't have a lot of traffic, but they still have power lines on them. So we turn the corner to this one, and there are just these downed, sparking power lines laying in the middle of the road. And I'm like, oh, we could have run right over those. That would have been very bad. Yeah. They turned the power off though, because it was dangerous, and everyone in the area had already lost power. It was such a mess. It took them forever to get it back up and running. They had to put the power lines back on, and then to get the power flowing. So many people were out of power. We were out for a week. We lost all of our food in our fridge and in our freezer.
Oh man,
damn,
that sucks.
It is Scandinavian black metal band.
Huh? What?
Michael Hing says, I like snow and going out, posing like an idiot, and pretending I'm in a Scandinavian black metal band.
Yeah, that's me, man. I just headbanging it away. Except for me not having hair, though. But I do wear the makeup on when I'm plowing snow. Definitely.
I was a cloistered child, so I would go out in the snow and I would build friends because I didn't have any growing up. I'd build snow friends.
Aww.
And then the dogs would come and they would urinate on my friends, and it would make me sad.
No, I mean, I'm originally from New York, and we had some great snow winters, and I remember one winter, me and Jimmy went in our backyard and built a huge igloo. And it was
an igloo,
freaking
like
wild.
a whole ass igloo.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, part of it was up against the house, so like the very back of it. But yeah, we built a whole freaking igloo. It was like wild.
Whereabouts in New York were you? Were you on the island? Were you in the city?
I was born and bred in Brooklyn.
That's where the accent's
but
from,
like once I moved out of my house, then I lived a little bit of everywhere, like Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, all the boroughs.
So you're a real borough boy. You've been to every borough. You spent your time putting your time in all of them.
I mean, mostly I would say mostly Brooklyn and Queens. I've had apartments.
I lived in Manhattan for most of my young life, and I moved out to Queens after that, and then I moved out of the state. But I remember one year it snowed late, and it snowed a lot, and they shut down Broadway for a period of time. Very briefly, because Broadway is like the main thoroughfare on the west side. But people were cross-country skiing. And I'll remember it clear as day. It was the weirdest thing, but they were cross-country skiing down the street. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I hope we never go back to cars. But, by the end of the day, they had it plowed and salted and everything. Way to wreck the kids' dreams.
Yeah. I remember, let's see, it was maybe early 80s. Like, New York got demolished by a snowstorm, and me and my friend at the time we worked off Park Avenue, and you know, I had like a mailroom job, but he worked with some stock people, and you know, in computer end of it. And he told me, like, he called me up on Sunday, like after the storm hit, and he's like, I really have to go into work and take care of some business. And I was like, you're nuts. You know, there's nothing happening in the city. Everything's shut down. He's like, no, you know, the train's still working. You can get in. We can meet up. And so, yeah, I went into the city, and there was like nobody on the streets, no cars happening. The main streets weren't shoveled. We went into the building. He took care of the business he needed to, and we came out, and it was still deserted. It was freaking like, you know, just empty. And I remember we were walking down 34th Street, which is a big street, and I tripped over a car because I didn't see it. You know, it's like it was just covered in snow.
Back in the 80s,
it was just insane.
Before dog walkers were a thing, right? Before you had neighborhood people walking all the dogs. You could have, these days, now that dog walkers are a thing, you could have grabbed one of those little snow inner tubes, lashed the dogs to the tube, and you would have had yourself a dog sled going to work.
Yeah, like mushing.
Yeah, mush. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I always loved like snow season in New York, because it would just like really just come down, and then the snowdrifts were 9 feet high sometimes, and you know, it was just insane.
I loved it
over
too.
here we barely get snow.
But I didn't love it 2 or 3 days after it snowed, when all the snow was gray. And there were little brown spots everywhere, and yellow snow, and the slush had like pooled into the corners and the crosswalks, and everyone was cranky because they were jumping over giant puddles that had formed inside the potholes. So yeah, when the snow first came down, it was fantastic. Day or two later, it was the worst. The worst.
Cool.
You guys know the slush machines up like in the delis, all that gray stuff? Yeah, and now you know where it's coming from.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah, we've only had snow here twice in like 10 years. So we don't get snow a lot.
10 years? Well, I mean, it's Texas, so.
Yeah. And when we got it the first time, it had been 100 years since there was snow here, and it was just a brief. It was actually on Christmas Eve night, so it was a good holiday snow. And this last time, I think it was like 2018 and I was actually walking to school because I was walking to a trade school.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cold and it started snowing as I was walking, but like I put on a jacket, so I get to tell people, hey, I walk to school in the snow.
Uphill both ways.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah. We had snow fights at school.
Oh yeah.
Back in your day, we didn't have hoverboards.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that living in the mountains, it's not attractive when you got winter seasons, because I think I was around like fourth or fifth grade, and I was walking to the taxi. But to walk to the taxi, I got to cross the. I got to walk like half a mile to get out of the forest, and then being picked up by the taxi. And usually in the winter seasons, the snow in the mountain range was just so fucking terrible.
Sometimes it would lead up to like 3.2 feet, and sometimes it would be like 4 feet of snow. And it was one of those like times where you could like literally walk up with snow up to the waist, up to like your armpits, and it was just like the worst for a kid.
Yeah.
I actually had to have my mom pick me up on a snowmobile just so I could like get to school because the road wasn't plowed.
We just use hoverboard.
It's no joke.
Nice.
This cab that you had to go get, would you call for it before you hiked through the woods or after?
It's arranged by the school that they
okay.
like pick up kids from like far off, like far off. Yeah, far in the boonies and the sticks.
Did you ever lose any of them? Because half a mile in the woods, man, they're wolves.
Not where I live. I know there's like moose. When I lived there, it was like moose and lynx and wolverines, but they didn't appear a lot.
Hugh
Jackman's especially. There's one time that I was so close to like getting to the bog because the bog was just like right beside the road, and I was stepped in it.
There's a bog, like a big body of muddy water. Yo, I'm so surprised you didn't lose any kids from that school.
Yeah, there have been a couple of times that I've been like nearly close to drinking bog water.
Oh wow.
All of our kids these days
Yeah, that's something to do.
Their parents and their babysitters or their grandparents at school, and kids at your school had to run the gauntlet through the woods as the sun was going down.
It was just me that had to. I had
just you.
Yeah, just me. There were like other kids, but there were like other kids that were picked up on a taxi, but every one of them got picked up at their homestead. From my place, they didn't want to. They didn't want to go up there. So
this is just a conspiracy to get rid of Stinch. This is what it was. Parents just told you that. They just told you, no, you have to hike through the woods to go get to the car. We swear. It's just no one wants to come here.
That's right. They didn't want me to become an artist. So they wanted to get rid of me the best way possible, put me in the woods. But look where I am now.
Right?
They told him, there's a special class in the woods. Just wait for us.
This is where all of your crazy imagery of like murder forests and stuff comes from, isn't it? It's all childhood trauma that you're expressing on the page.
It actually, yeah, not that you haven't mentioned it. Yeah, I think. I'm legit like serious on this one. Yeah, I think that a lot of the trauma and shit that I went through in the woods must be like expressed on the page.
Stinch was actually in the Wicker Man.
I am the Wicker Man.
So I'm thinking, this has been great, but the intention of this show was to pimp your comic, and a lot of the people I had scheduled to come on haven't shown up. We've been going 3 hours because I was up late last night. I'm thinking I'll probably end this soon.
Yeah.
And just
can't blame you.
Anybody who didn't get a chance today, or just this is your first time seeing it and you want on, I'll be doing this again next month. So there will always be another opportunity. Like I said, this has been a blast, just like it was the first time. And I thank you all for showing up and chatting.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Maybe we'll have comics soon.
Yes.
Well, I have PDF comics you can get on my copy.
Yeah, if there's anything you want to promote, I'll start with Frank. Let people know where they can find you online. What your new Artcast is called. Give us all the deets.
It's a secret.
Well,
Oh,
you can find me on SalazarArtNation on YouTube and also on Instagram under the same name. If you want to get some digital mini comics, you can donate to my coffee account. $3 gets you 2 or 3 mini comics. $10 or higher, I just send you everything I got as of now. And I have a Artcast called I Can't Believe It's Not the Artcast every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Central Time. In 2 weeks, we will have a new name, which will be disclosed next week. So check it out. And we're also doing a bug challenge so we can get Anna, Rob, and Keith Harper to 100 subs. Anna and I will be eating some bugs pretty soon, so we want to check that out. Go sub to them. And, make sure you stop by my coffee link again and just drop a few bucks and I'll send you some comics.
Awesome. We'll go with Stinch. They can people find you? If you want them to find you?
No, I'm in the woods right now, so nobody will find me.
Yeah.
He's right behind you.
Right behind you. I can see. But I'll get around to like the social media stuff. But you can find me just harassing all these people on the AAA server. So come hang out and we can chat comics and whatever.
That's right. That's Marshall Lee's Discord channel.
That's right.
Really, where you can find Stitch is in everybody's live streams. He is in every live stream ever. The boy gets around.
But also,
in Neffarious?
You can find my stuff currently at theglobalfrequency.org. That's the website. And you can find me on the AAA art servers. And soon you'll find us on Indiegogo, hopefully. But, stay tuned for that. We'll be sending out a mailing list in a short while.
Oh, cool.
Excellent.
Thanks for having us on, Pete. It's always a blast.
My pleasure.
It was a blast.
Yeah. To all of you and the guys that were on earlier, this has been very, very cool. So yeah, like the video, comment if you're watching this later. If you're a comic creator, you probably want to join. Hit me up on Facebook Messenger, and I'll put you on the list. Yeah, probably first week of next month. We'll see how it all pans out. But after Halloween, of course.
Maybe second week or something.
Maybe
first week's going to be a little weird. First week's going to be hairy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is there something? Oh, yeah. There's a little thing going on. Yeah. I try to ignore it. But
yeah.
All right, everybody. Love you all. Have a great, productive day. Or just goof off. Either way.
Thanks, Pete.